I know you're recording too. So that
Yeah.
I can sense your brand voice too when you're sharing. Like I know you already have a background of like you have an agency before still, right? But like
Mm.
maybe walk me through that specific timeline where like I don't know, 1 to 2 ish month before you actually transition to, you know what, I'm gonna try this thing. Because I know it's not like a well thought based on what I recall, right? It's more of like I just want to survey people, right? And
Mm.
stuff like that. But can you walk me through a little bit about that? Yeah, and then you can continue what you said about where did that insight leaf came from and stuff like that.
Sure, sure. Cool. There was two reasons for the survey. The one I mentioned to you, but of wanting to know how other agencies are growing. But if we jump back 2 months before that, so I was running a website development agency, not super big. So it was my wife and I, and then a few
Mm-hmm.
contractors. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to a few people, and then um, yeah, the biggest problem that I had with that is we would build the websites, but the clients wouldn't do anything with them. They wouldn't know how to market. They wouldn't go to anyone else. And
Mm.
if they did go to someone, they weren't that good. And so we started partnering with another agency to do the Google ads. And we did that for probably a year
Oh, okay.
with one or two clients. So this is before Inside Leaf, a year before Inside Leaf. And so that was going quite good. And I realized that there's a combo, like a good combo of agency services is website/landing page and marketing channel. Because for me, I was always passionate about not just doing a service, but actually solving someone's problem.
Mm.
Because websites is a service, but what is the problem you're solving? There's a lot of different problems. More leads, more inquiries is the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
We were only solving looking like an authority. So that's
Mm.
the problem we were technically solving because most businesses weren't running traffic. So I ultimately wanted to help them get more inquiries. And I noticed when we did work with businesses that did run leads, like I partnered with or helped a friend a year ago, and he was running some Google ads. I helped redesign his website just by redoing his website and landing page and repositioning it. So, like to give you an example, before he the website was leading with something like "Welcome to Shadeports, a great way to get your car in the shade." Essentially, what that was doing is it was making a shade port, which was his product, look like a carport. But actually, they were different because a shade port had a shade sail roof, like
Mm.
a material roof. A carport had a metal roof. Both of them go out the front of your house and keep your car in the shade, sure, but the roofs were different. Now, if you just say a great way to keep your car in the shade, it looks just like a worse version of a carport. Like, why would I want a material roof, right?
Mm.
But the
Okay.
reason he did it is because in Australia, there's a regulation by the government councils that you can't put a metal roof structure 2 to 3 meters from the edge of your property. And so if
Oh.
people don't have a long driveway, they can't fit a carport. So then they
Okay.
can't get one, even if they want one. So he made a shade port, which is a carport with this shade sail roof, still keeps your car in the shade. It still gets rid of 95% of the rain, but now you can get one if you couldn't before. And so we
Mm.
changed messaging from a great way to keep your car in the shade to the carport alternative that can be built right up to your post box.
Oh.
And that change alone and redesigning the website tripled his inquiries with the same amount of ad spend.
Wow.
He went from 14 inquiries a month to about 44. So there were a few projects like that where I realized like when people do run marketing or do run ads, they we're decent at our job because most web agencies just think about how to build the website. They don't think about the positioning
Mm.
and the messaging, how to communicate their product, which is more important. The design just makes sure you look credible, but the copy is actually what sells. So essentially, the second reason for doing the survey was to learn what second channel to do. So I decided at this point, all right, we need to help clients with a second channel. Firstly, because it helps them achieve their goals, but secondly, I wanted reoccurring revenue. It's very difficult when every product is only a month or every sale is only a month long. You've got to replace last month's sales and get new sales. Alex Omozi talks about
Right.
this a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, we can get reoccurring revenue, we can help our clients long term, easier for us, better for them. Great. What should that marketing channel be though? That was the
Mm.
question. So I thought, okay, well, how about I do a research? Because my hypothesis was, well, what if we did research based marketing? So we
Mm.
help them get clients by using research to build those relationships first. And so the cold outreach research idea
Mm.
was the hypothesis of what I thought could work. So I
Oh.
was testing that channel, as well as the reason I picked agencies is because I wanted to know how to grow my agency. So I thought, hey,
Mm.
let's figure out if this channel works, and we'll do it on a business that I want to know about so that I know how to grow my agency. So that's why I picked agencies, and that's why it was the cold outreach research play. Because at that stage, I had two types of businesses that I was serving: B2B service businesses and B2C service businesses. So Shapeports is B2C service, we're selling to homeowners. And then another part of the business was B2B. And that was the direction I really wanted to go down, the B2B direction. So we decided to go down in that direction. I thought, hey, people would be more responsive to research, whereas they wouldn't respond to a sales call request via a cold email. And so I tested that out. Turns out that was right. Generally, I've found most of the times I've taken a marketing leap and things seem pretty legit. It's actually turned out to be what I thought. Sometimes it's more effort, but yeah, the thought was surely there'd be people that would respond to a market research invitation if you give them access to the research afterwards. Yes, there was. So I cold emailed 1,889 agencies, and 74 were happy to either jump on a call or fill out a survey.
Mm.
Yeah, and then from through that research, I realized cold outreach is a bit of a pain to do for everyone, and there's a better way anyway through ads.
Mm.
And so that's where the insight for content plus ads, so thought leader ads, is a better way to do things. And so that became the channel that I wanted to pair with landing pages. And then, yeah, the reason for the name change was because I originally created Insight Leaf as a B2B research company, just so that people didn't think I was a scammer when I was emailing them, asking them to join in research.
Mm.
Because otherwise, like, who's this guy? Because if I ran it as another marketing agency, like, why is this web development agency wanting to?
Oh, like.
Yeah. So yeah, so Insight Leaf was just a fake company, and then the research went quite well. I sent that out, and then I thought, let's test the core insight from the research, which is content plus ads. So I
Mm.
made a post saying, hey, this is what I've done. Here's some of my findings. You can grab the research report here. I think I mentioned to you, I got 5 people who downloaded that from the organic post,
Right.
but only one was an agency in Australia. Only
Mm.
one was a actual target market of who I wanted to get that report. So that was phase 1 only though, and then phase 2 I boosted it, and that's when things really took off. That exact same post went on to get 141 more research report downloads, and 80 to 90% of them were exactly who I wanted to reach: 7 and 8 figure agencies.
Right. Wow.
So, and that was the start of realizing I was onto something. So the plan was never to target agencies in the beginning. It was to target consultancies. But after doing the research and testing the system, I realized I got a lot of valuable stuff here for agencies.
Mm.
So if I had to go back, maybe I would have done the research on consultancies. But anyway, I think agencies need help as well. It's just
Right.
figuring out how they
Mm.
want to be helped. But yeah, that's the story.
Wow. I mean, yeah, yeah, I have some things to say, but I think we're better off if we continue to have the
Yeah.
questions. Yep.
I
Okay.
just want to zoom out a bit though before we keep going through questions, because I just
Uh,
want to set an agenda for today's session.
okay.
What's the plan?
Oh, so we're just wrapping things up. So the last sessions would just be, yeah, just to give you an idea. Okay, so we're on. So I have, yeah, yeah, I didn't share, but we're on. I have like 6 modules that we're running into. So we're on module 4 right now. We're just filling the gaps quickly. And then for the last 2 modules is just the offer, and then your voice. I think the last is just the voice, just the tone, the voice, the style, and we're gonna wrap things up. And if we're, yeah, if we have more time, probably we can talk about, yeah, how can um clean the final document essentially, so that when I give it to you, um you can actually use it and not just another thing that's gonna be saved in your in
Mm,
your computer. um okay, so that's the
cool.
agenda. Okay.
Okay, cool. What did you want to do about getting some posts written? Do you want to tackle that afterwards?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Based on our
saying.
chat on Friday, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, a lot. I'm just so busy, like what I said. Like if I had just more time, probably I would think more of that. Not like what you said, like just to create that, you know what I mean, like what I said to you, right? Let's start that engagement where we don't even want to use. I mean, this will be used heavily, because we have this data already. We have compiled it. Um, yeah, just sending me, like what I said. I think that's what I said, right? Just sending me those graphs. We can pick and choose, and then just finalize the pillar just immediately. If you want, since we
Mm.
already did the, you know, did this version anyways. I don't want to like go back now to not using it. You know what I mean? We're just so
Yeah, sure. No,
close.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a
that's fine. I'm
structure.
happy.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
structure, so that you can also see like, okay, I like that tree structure, like the perspective layer, like you were saying, right? Um, so yeah, that's my idea once we wrap. But I just want to wrap this first, right? Because this is a different project that we have. Um, okay,
Cool. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. All
okay.
right. So
So
we'll finish that first. Cool. So you mentioned the plan of is the last few workshops. In that agenda, you didn't mention anything around content pillars. Is that on the agenda or is that a separate thing?
a separate thing. Yeah, this is more of like you can use this as like whatever you want to written. This is gonna be our guide moving forward, right?
Right. But wasn't the plan in the beginning to create content pillars as part of the guide? Like, how do we know what to talk about as part of the
we
strategy?
will we will but uh we will, but it's more of like, how can I, so what I did with my, let me say this, like what I did with my previous slide is that literally like this. I didn't deviate that much. And then after this, because I have a data, now I can suggest like the pillars that I am proposing based on not my opinion.
Right.
It's based on that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have my own thing, and then I'm gonna propose it to you. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
it's,
okay, cool.
yeah, because I have no data to say, oh, based on what you said, I think these are your, and then I'm gonna explain why I said what I said. That's the plan. So it's more of
Okay.
like after this, I'm gonna propose like the pillars and stuff like that in matching, because you already have your idea. I'm not gonna just throw away that. I'm gonna infuse that with my thing, and then yeah, we can quickly move, because if you
Mm.
already approve or just tiny tweak, we can just immediately test it out immediately. So that's actually one of the results. All I'm saying is that it's not just that result. It's more of like any written pieces of copy you can use this now. All is all I'm saying. It's not just on LinkedIn, because it's general, as you can tell, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
Uh,
Okay.
so
Sounds good.
so for like, I think I recall, so moving for the next question, you have like around multiple meetings, right? I don't want to say like they rejected, but surely they have some resistance or let's say like objections in that those calls. Can you walk me through what do you recall, if there's any, and yet since we're recording so that I can capture it here.
Mm. Yeah, I think the biggest issue in hindsight is not offering them something they wanted,
Mm.
because everyone was very keen to talk, but after chatting, it seemed like they were hopping on the call with the intention to figure out the system so that they could do
Oh.
it themselves.
Oh.
Potentially. I mean, some people, I feel like if I suggested a good next step, they would have been interested, but they weren't sold beforehand. I'm not sure how to explain it. I think it's just, yeah, the offer was maybe not that good. So some specific objections. So I had a chat with one company. They're a bit bigger. They were not really interested in the thought leadership ads thing. They were very interested in the research report that I did. And so that
Oh.
was a bit interesting. So maybe they weren't an ideal fit. The problem there, I think I spoke too much about my system and the research and not dive deeper into what they're looking for and their problems and all of that kind of stuff. So it's me also just learning how to do the sales process for this
This
new
new.
new system. But to give you an idea of what I've been doing now for the last few calls, I wasn't doing this in the beginning, but I will have a 30-minute call where I figure out what's their problems, what are they trying to do, and if it looks like I could help, then we book in another call for an hour where we go through the system and process, and that's a presentation. So I will show them the research and the slides and what the system looks like based on that. So that's the process for the last few. It seemed like a few people were saying, like 2 people said that was just a bit expensive. So I ended up saying 10,000 for the first thing to get started, and we'll do all the stuff. The reason I thought that was okay is because I did research. I reached out to a few agencies that joined in the market research, and I asked them, what price do you think would be okay? And they said, oh, 25,000 for all this work, or 20,000 is fine. That's okay. And a few people seemed to think that was all right, but they were probably thinking for other businesses. And so when I approached some of them later and like, hey, do you want to do this? They were keen, but it seemed like they were still not willing to fully pay that amount. And I gave 50% discount. So I wanted to work towards 20,000, but then only charge 10 for the first few people. And so she seemed a bit hesitant. Firstly, because she's like, oh, we've had a tax bill pop up. And so that's one reason. But I could tell that was just a convenient excuse, because she also said, look, we're not really enjoying the workshop style thing. So for them, I think the problem was we got too much into theory and too much into the strategy side. Their big problem was not knowing how to choose their advertising niche. So I helped them with that. And then they felt like, oh, great, we can do the rest ourselves. Like we know your system now. We know our advertising niche. You've helped us with the hard part. That was her reaction. So I think the problem was selling the strategy as the main problem. And so when I helped them solve that as like a free trial, they felt like, well, we've done most of the work now. We can take it from here. Whereas maybe part of it should be, hey, let me actually help. I help with the execution and the strategy. The problem I solve is taking the work off your plate, because there's a conflict of interest if you get your internal team to do your own marketing. I'm starting to believe that the same team shouldn't do the marketing for the company that does the marketing for the clients. You need to have separate teams. Otherwise, there's conflicts of interest. If client work gets busy, they're going to prioritize that, and the business's marketing stops because you're using the same people to do both, which is why most business owners don't do both, because client work takes precedence and they leave the marketing. So So that was one. So that was Ashton. That's her name. It seemed like, yeah, wasn't super. She seemed to want to do it herself, and then also said there was a bill. Another company, what the big one that I was mentioning before, sorry, just to wrap that up, they seemed more interested in the market research. They didn't need help getting leads, so they didn't see the benefit of thought leadership ads. They were already running LinkedIn ads successfully, so potentially they weren't a good fit. Another guy, they seemed very keen and said, "Yep, we're happy to go ahead," and then just ghosted me basically.
Mm.
I couldn't get back in touch. They wouldn't reply to my emails. I think the problem was not booking a meeting from a meeting, and they got a bit hesitant after that. That was also selling the upfront 10,000 to get things set up. I think starting with something smaller would be a bit better. Again, I said it's upfront 10,000, but I still was always selling 1,500 for a 2 week sprint to figure out your advertising niche.
Mm.
I was selling that to all of these people, but they didn't seem to really care about that as much. And I think it's the same reason that your stepping stone offer is kind of appealing, but at the same time it's not, because there's a lot of effort that we have to do. And I don't know if this system is going to work and if we're going to continue.
Mm.
That's what they're thinking. Because for example, with us, it's like, oh, I have to put 6 hours in, and I still don't know until after that if we're going to be good to work together. So I think I just need to do the equivalent of writing 3 posts with you and let's test LinkedIn ads. I think a lot more people would have said yes if I proposed that. That's my hypothesis. So I think it was the appealingness of the offer. Selling strategy is a hard sell.
Mm.
Is the takeaway that I got, but I can't confirm that yet because I haven't tested the new offer. So I have plans to do that now with LinkedIn ads and through my email newsletter. So that'll be one of the projects that you'll be seeing us
Mm.
work. So that was one. Another guy, yeah, seemed keen, but also I think he was just thinking to do it himself. Maybe there just wasn't any. I think people are hopping on and they're willing to move forward if it's really good, but they're marketing agency owners, so they know that they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
So if there's no question answered on like, why do I need to work with you, then it's like, oh well, this is a great coaching session that I can take away and apply. That was the feeling that I got for some people. They were taking notes in the sales call, which when I was talking to Alex James, he's like, oh, nobody ever takes notes in my sales calls. And so I think it was them writing down, oh, don't forget to do this. That's a good idea. We can do this for our business, so that they could go and implement it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I just, since you said Alex, I'm not sure. Okay, you're more close to him, but what I can tell before when I consume his content, all he's trying to say is like sell the strategy, not that. Am I correct? That's the gist of his story before. I don't know. I'm way back. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
Alex
get,
just does strategy,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, you get what I mean. So
he's an
like,
exception.
yeah, yeah,
But
so
even he says strategy is hard to sell. He's just very good at it.
right, right. But what I'm saying is like, because you're also, gonna confirm, but you're also good though, like at strategy. Because like literally your brand is about research based in extraction of insight. So the strategy, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm just planting that in your subconscious. I know you still want the link, but it's more to me like it's already validated through your initial calls that that's what they're valuing. You know what I mean? But it's, I
Mm.
get what you say, it's a harder sell. But what I would like I said, I'm not a yes man here, right? But I would say it would be a harder sell to even sell the execution once you give away the. You get what I mean? I know it's a harder sell at the front end, right? The strategy, but think about it, like it's a double, like, or 10x more harder to sell the execution if you really think about it, because they hop on the call for the strategy, so it's actually not hard to sell, right? But it's more of like the execution, because again, like, you just need what I feel for you is like you just need to realign what you really want. I think anything with work, I feel like for you, it's just what you really want. Do you really want to sell the execution part? Do you really want to sell the front end part? And also, that would dictate like who you are targeting. So I think what you're trying to say to me, if I could like summarize, the people that you're attracting right now are the DIY folks. You could like, here's the principle that I've learned from someone else that's who's been an agency. Like you can't actually like there's only two types, like the done for you types of folks or the done with you. So if you are attracting done do it yourself types of people, you will never convert them to be a to work with you for a D done for you. So so to give you an example, when I internalized that idea, all of my front end offering is geared towards the people who wants done for you services. What do I mean by that? I don't have a download PDF. I don't have a do it yourself type of thing. All I'm offering is a front end free service because I want to attract people who already wants a done for you. You get what I mean? That's why when I book a
Yeah.
call with that client, he already is inclined to working with me because that's him. Like I hope you get. I
No,
don't know
yeah,
if
no,
you're
I get
clear.
what you're saying.
So so
And
so you just need to pick and choose. I'm not saying like I'm not against because I really know that you're really good about that. But what I'm saying is like maybe if you're really good and it's already converting, it's just a matter of your preference. Do you really want to be a done for you service agency or a uh a done do it yourself like high strategy level consultant
mm,
premium very premium guy because like you need to choose because if you choose I feel like right now if you choose that route the done for you you need to gear all your lead magnets all your resources to cater to those they're different the way I'm telling you the way they're thinking is different and they need to feel that marketing is something that they need to offshore they need to like just delegate if they're not in that mental state I'm telling you it's impossible for them to convert like even if they have money but here's the thing the people that you're talking about, I bet they're willing to give you 10 grand just for the strategy. I'm telling you that because
yeah,
it's not because that they're like what do you call that? Like they don't want execution. It's not even they just want to know it themselves because that's who they are, especially in this topic. Because it's imagine they're a founder, they're a marketer, right? They want to know under the hood. The guy that I was listening to, he said that like he's a millionaire by the way, but he's still like buying courses or strategy or booking calls with highly consultants. It's not because like he wants more. It's just for that specific topic or that specific problem. It's not even about like I want to offshore because it's so personal to me. That's his psyche, right? I'm willing to pay so much. Just I just want to learn it myself. It's all I'm saying, and I just want to delegate everything else. So I feel like these marketing agencies, doing their leads because they're marketing. This is their baby. This is their realm. They want to learn it. It's not that they don't want to work with you. It's more like they want a different way of working with you. If that makes so, my question
yeah,
would be, do you really want agencies? Because I feel like if you really want the seven figure, at least almost all of them are thinking like that. They want a DIY. I want my team to implement this. I want me to feel like I'm the smart guy teaching them for them my employees that I'm the smart one. I have new revelations. I just want to secretly talk with you so that I can gain what you're doing, and then I'm gonna teach it to them. I feel like that was should be they're doing. If I'm like really like internalizing what you said about the conversations, they're taking notes. Like imagine like do you think do they actually implement? No, they're just gonna share that same idea in their team, and then they want to look smart because they're the founder. They're like seven figure. You know what I mean? I think that's their ego. They don't want to see their employees hiring another agency there's a conflict of even you I don't know if you see imagine that like what do their team will feel like if you're gonna come in like they will like feel like like why did you hire this guy we can do that you know what I mean I remember what I said I don't know the first day or second day the ego is really not in our
mm,
favor right now I think we need to
sure.
move with the desire right in copywriting that's the principle like we channel the desire not go against it or thing so I don't know but
Sure,
again this
sure,
is a
okay, but
hypothesis though yeah that's a
let me
problem
just jump in though. Yes, so firstly, to address your points, I agree that the strategy is the part people value. What I said before made it seem the opposite. That's not the case. I think I swang too much in one
Oh,
direction.
okay. Okay.
People care about the strategy 100%. We need strategy because that's the unique mechanism, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I was trying to say is I was undervaluing execution help.
You didn't what you saying, you didn't communicate well enough the amount of like tangible deliverables you're gonna be doing to them, is what you're trying to say. In a
Yeah,
sense.
there's a value in, hey, I'm gonna keep you accountable so that the work actually gets done, and then I'm gonna do it, or your team can do it if you have time, and then we will swap over to me when you don't. Like, so in the beginning, it wasn't a DI done for you or done with you. I
Mm.
proposed both options.
Oh,
So I
okay.
said, hey, it's 10,000 for done with you. If you just want the strategy, it's 6,000, something like that. So, and it depended on the agency. Most agencies seem to want just the strategy and they implement. I actually have a survey that I get people to fill out before the contact form in some situations. And most people would say, we want strategy, your help with strategy, and we'll do the implementation. That's the smaller agencies, around 2 million a year, somewhere around there. So they're on that side of the spectrum. The bigger agency I spoke to, around 20 million a year, they seem to value getting execution help a bit more.
Mm.
The thing is here, I think what's missing is just explaining why they can't or why they shouldn't do this themselves. Because in the current sales process, I was just explaining what to do and that we would do it, but not answering the question of why they shouldn't do it themselves. Whereas this bigger agency, for example, when I was talking to them about the market research, I said, look, hey, we could start there. Market research is expensive. It's going to be 20,000, 25,000. And she's like, no, that's fine. I just don't want to do it myself. I just want to pay someone else to do it.
Mm.
And so she didn't see that as something that they inherently do and know how to do, all of that kind of stuff. So I think there would be some angles of the marketing where it's like, hey, this is not a service your agency does. This is turning marketing into market research. And there's a whole bunch of data analysis, and you need to know like how to do that side of things. So it's not an internal service. That's one option. The other option is we just explain why they shouldn't, which is you have this in some of your posts, which is you have existing clients that you need to talk to. You have sales calls you need to be on. You have team you need to support. That stuff you have to do. Running your ads and doing your own marketing, you don't have to do that. Let me do that. That was one of the arguments in your post, which I thought was pretty good. The angle that I would hit is, once you get above 7 figures, you need dedicated focus on your marketing, but getting your internal team to do that is the wrong play. It's a mistake because they're going to have a conflict of interest. And so what's going to happen is when client work fills up, they're going to focus on that. When they get a bit of time, they're going to do your marketing again. And so your marketing effort is going to do this based on whether you have client work a lot or not. And so your revenue is going to do this. Your growth is going to do this. You need someone who's solely responsible on your marketing so that it can be consistent. Now, you can hire someone internally and do that, and they can try to figure it out what would work best for your agency, or you hire us who've done research on the best way to do things, and over time we will build your internal marketing team. We will get you set up and running now over the next year, and then the year after that we can help you hire a head of marketing or a marketing manager. They can then start doing some of the work, and we will do the strategy and guidance. And then next year after that, we can put in a head of marketing for you once you get to a size that can support them.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, continue. Do you have more something to say?
No, that's so.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be more appealing for agencies because they don't. I think what they like is they don't want to be dependent on another agency.
Yeah.
But they're happy to spend money. They pay Alex a decent amount of money up front. Like his first offer is like 20K. So
Ouch.
they pay him a
Because
decent
there's a
amount for
unique, yeah, because it's a unique offer that Alex. So here's my two thing. Like when based on what I heard from what you said, I just recall what you said about there's a 20 million. Is am I correct on there's a 20 million guy or girl, and then he we just want to hire you. And I feel like you know what I the insight that I got there, like there's levels to this. Like there's a reason why that thing they're so big and they have so much money they can just test. I mean, money's not like that at that level. I think that's the legit level where I don't even care. I just want to test. But for the, even I believe even for the 2 mil people, like that's still a lot. You know, the 20K in just first sitting, like the 20 mil, like that's like peanuts to them. But 2 mil, it's still hurting a little bit for them. You know what I mean? So what you said about so I think we're gonna go back to the module one of like who do you really want to I think we need to really like because you know what I mean, if you really are going to that biggest whale, I think like what you said, like 20K idea would be the yeah, that's anything below that would feel like disgusting or like offensive to them. Why are you even offering this? Like you feel like
no,
you're
not
broke.
not quite. No, it wasn't quite like that. So there's two sides, right? So we also got to take into account the maturity of the agency's marketing.
Mm,
Nobody wants to spend money that they don't need to. Nobody.
right,
Like
of
it's
course.
not a it's yeah, not as much of a thing. The 20 million a year, the reason they were willing to spend that on the research, so this wasn't just we just want to hire you to get this up and running. They didn't want to hire me.
Okay.
They wanted a market research report, and the
Yeah,
guy
that's
actually read my report before I hopped on the call.
right.
So he was like, I love this report. So they didn't want to do the effort for that, but they already had ads running with guides and white papers and all of that, and they were getting leads for $7 a lead.
Mm,
So they had the system already to show that that
that thing worked. Yeah.
worked. So I think if they were doing 20 million and they didn't have that, just to give them research off the back, is too fast, too quickly. Because if we look at another agency doing 10 million a year, they have nothing. They have no market, zero. So he approached me and he seemed like he wanted to work with me because his internal team doesn't have the experience. He actually said this. He said,
Mm,
my guys, they're more focused on the creative side of making ads for these businesses. They don't really understand thought leadership and they don't really have that knowledge. So
mm.
I'm keen to work with you to figure out that side of things and get that up and running. So that's what he wanted, and he seemed willing to pay for that. We're still talking. He's not the best with replying, so it looks like he may have ghosted me, but he may just be thinking about it. Not sure yet. So that was his thing. Is he wanted me to do it. He didn't want his team to do it.
Yeah, but I feel like
But I
it's the
still
same.
think,
But I feel like it's the same. So what I'm trying to get at with you, Jason, is like more of like who do you really want to target? Like what I'm saying is
sure, five
if you
5 million to 20 million a year agencies.
yeah, but there's
2
nuance
million,
even
1
to
million
what you
is a
said.
bit small,
No,
but
no, and even more nuance to that because like what you just said is like exactly the same. They're kind of like the same, like 10 to 20 million. Like we don't even know what's the difference. What you're saying is like the behavior is different though. The first guys, and do you want to target 10? Like yeah, let's talk. I know you already have like the number 5 to 20. Like I'm not debating that. It's more of like what you said, the other angle of like maturity, like are they experienced agencies or do already have tried it before, those nuance because everything will be based on that, like your front end marketing will be based on that. It's gonna be more sharper to target them, whereas if you just target like we're doing research, like yeah, like you're gonna have different like responses from that. But whereas if your front end is like it's clearly targeting, for example, if you're gonna go to the route of the maturity level, like the 20 mil, like they already have done white papers before and they know they have it works. They just want a new mechanism because probably their old mechanisms are like drying off. It's not converting as much, right? It's a new angle to the
most of
delivery.
them don't have mechanisms.
Okay.
So we're dealing with all this fancy stuff here. Most of these businesses are super basic, Francis, because they're old. They don't. they're selling services. There's no unique mechanism. They're listing all their services on their
Okay.
website. They're using it just to give you an idea, right? That's the average. So to answer your question, most of the businesses that I want to help, or rather would add the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
value to,
Yeah. Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be the businesses that have non-existent
Okay.
or basic marketing. So they have no marketing channels, or they have maybe one marketing channel, but ultimately they are not posting content and getting leads from that. They need to have a super basic LinkedIn presence. So this bigger 20 million a year agency, they were already running LinkedIn ads.
So that's not
So
the
for them,
ICP, is what you're trying to say. Yeah, in a sense. Those are not the ICP in a sense.
no,
Yeah,
because
okay.
they can benefit from thought leadership ads, but they already are kind of doing that. They didn't see the
Okay,
desire.
got it.
Whereas the people they can, so there's other agency I spoke to that did get it. They had SEO running successfully. 40% of their clients came from SEO. And
Okay.
now they want to get another channel
Okay,
set
now we're
up.
get now we're getting somewhere. So maybe can you go back again to my question? So now I think we locked in the real ICP, right? So the real ICP is like they're basic in marketing, right? So probably you're assuming like we are assuming like 40 or 70% of their revenue is driving from referrals and just recurring, right? I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
They have no, what do you call that? Like they don't have, yeah, other mechanisms or channels to push
correct.
their leads. Like it's basically referrals and old whale clients. So they don't have a much of a marketing presence. I like that angle because now filter it out again, remove all the, like, what do you think would those guys, like, their objection to your offer again, like, but remove every other people that you've talked to that's not part of that specific, you know what I mean, specific ICP,
Mm.
to make it more clear for me or for you even, right? What do you think is their, like, if they hop on a call to you, what's their, like, objection to your offer? Those specific, like the people that you want to actually help and genuinely can add value.
One one thing we would need to overcome is why they would work with someone like me, because they would fall into the trap of thinking they can do it themselves. Be, Probably because they haven't done it,
Mm.
they're defaulting to ways that don't work. These guys, the 20 million, they'd figured out marketing. They
Mm.
know they can do everything. They can use specialists, and they've worked out what works. These guys don't. So they're like, oh, we will just do it, and that keeps failing,
Mm.
and so they don't let it go anywhere, right? Sometimes they do something for one channel like SEO or something like that, where they get something set up for their business, and they'll have SEO and referrals. That's their marketing. But usually it's just marketing. Usually it's just referrals. So that would be one thing that we'd have to explain. The other thing would be price. I've spoken to a couple, but it could also just be that they were smaller. So price and risk. They would be happy to spend money, but the place I'm at is I can't be like, hey, look, let me show you all these case studies. And so for me, if I'm guessing, that would be higher risk for them. It's like, oh, we can spend 10K, but we don't know how well this is going to work, type thing. I mean, I talk through my numbers,
Mm.
so there's that. On the other side, it's just more expensive for some of the smaller businesses. Like I had another guy who was doing 1.5 million. He was like, man, I would take this. Just 10,000 is too much.
Mm.
One guy said I want 3,000 and I would go ahead. The other guy said I want more like 5 to 7,000 and I would go ahead.
Mm.
They were both doing 1.5 to 2 million. So that was their objection. It was price.
Price.
The other agency, Ashton, that ended up saying, oh, we had this fine come up. And for me also, she told me, oh, 20,000 is fine. Happy with that. 10,000 would be a no-brainer. But when it came to it, she still didn't jump on that.
Maybe he's just running her mouth.
Yeah, so it maybe seemed
The
okay, like
ego.
charge this, but when she actually has to pay it, it wasn't appealing. ultimately at the end of the day, it came down to what I was selling for what I was charging is didn't give them enough confidence. The dream outcome, the perceived likelihood of achievement, all of that, Alex Muzzy's value
Yeah, value
equation
equation. Yeah.
wasn't worth it for them. That's what it indicates to me. It wasn't a no-brainer offer.
Cause like for me, yeah, maybe that is like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna double down on that too. Probably is because your offer, like what you said, you admit like it's not that clear. Because I would do that because right now your offer is 2K. Remember, right? The two week sprint.
Nobody has received that offer, Francis.
Oh,
This is
okay. This
literally,
is
I thought of this. So what I was selling was 10K to get everything set up.
how about okay. So how about it? Like yeah, you want the core idea of the pillars, right? I have some ideas, rough ideas, or yeah, we should just push that because that would be so much regardless of what we're not just talking about right now, whether 1 mil, 20 mil, like nobody's gonna debate that at that level. The 2K is so minuscule,
Yeah,
right? That it
2K
would
is
be
not a
like
lot.
yeah, and then remember, yeah, let's go back since we both know the equation, right? So dream outcome, so it needs to be specified to the point where the promise is real. The promise for me is like you're just gonna figure out that's the thing, right? They're not gonna generate leads. The promise is like, can you like, is it like they're gonna know their niche market advertising? Is that correct? For the 2 weeks, what's the outcome that they have there? That just for the 2 weeks, okay, not the 10K. Yeah,
Yeah, so just to clarify, because I think I understand where I confused you. Before I was selling 10K,
right.
the 2K 2 week sprint to figure out their advertising niche.
Yeah. That's it.
That wasn't really resonating from what I was seeing. People weren't like, oh, yeah, okay, let's get started. The plan now is
Okay.
to try sell a 2K LinkedIn ads test experiment
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
or
LinkedIn
leadership
ads.
ads experiment.
Yeah. So
But
that's
nobody's been proposed this one. They've just been given the niche advertising one, not the LinkedIn ads experiment one.
and then what's the result of that? What's the result that they?
Experiment?
Yeah. Because that's just a mechanism. Yeah. I'm just curious for personally.
Yeah.
It,
So we will test a few different lead magnet angles without building the lead magnet. We just have a landing page with information and we allow people to join the waitlist.
mm-hmm.
And we will see which lead magnet works. So by the end, you will know what lead magnet to make. And also, you will know if LinkedIn ads work for you, because if you get people joining that, you can now see, oh, I got 3 people who are my ICP to join the waitlist for this lead magnet. There's something here with LinkedIn ads. So they walk away with more confidence that LinkedIn will work for them and knowing what they need to do next in order to take advantage of that.
I like that because that's simple for me, even for me to understand. So there's two promises that we can display. Just know if LinkedIn is actually worth investing time and just resources in. And then if it
For
does,
you,
which one to actually convert, because we all know this is a borrowed media. You want to convert them to your own like platform, aka email, right? If it works. But I think the main drivers, like I just want to know if LinkedIn is worth like even like putting my resources
yeah.
in. I like that. I mean, if I'm like a lot of money and then you just promise me that you're gonna be good at what you're doing, and then yeah, let's go to the so that I think that's a strong dream outcome. Let's jump for the effort, and I think that that's the bottom, right? The bottom of the equation of Alex Ramosi, effort and sacrifice. Oh no, sorry. Perceived likelihood of achievement. I forgot what part is like the how fast the result.
Time delay, it's on the
Yeah,
bottom.
the below. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, the time delay. I think it's irresistible too because it's 2 weeks so fast, right?
Yeah. It'll
If
probably be
two.
3 weeks, to be honest, 3 to 4 weeks, realistically. No, it'll be like a week to get it out, but the ads might need we could maybe do it in 2 weeks actually, but 3 weeks might be safer. I need to work out these details. Like this is an idea from last week, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't mapped anything out yet.
Okay, got it, got it.
But yeah, it's short. 2 weeks, 3 weeks is still very short, I think, for these bigger businesses where things move slow.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, that's yep. But yeah, anything beyond probably like a month is long for them. But yeah,
That's
4 weeks
too
is still like 4 weeks for 4K. I don't know, maybe I just because 2 weeks for 2K like sounds like I know it doesn't make like it doesn't correlate, right? I know that, but like in
Well, we
marketing,
can
we
we can do it. We can potentially do it in 2 weeks. The plan then would be, I would need to know what three types of LinkedIn posts to write, and then what have like some landing page templates, and then all we have to do is write the copy for that
mm,
and launch it. Like that can be done in a week, and then we have a week to actually get results. That's possible.
yeah, because like I think what you're trying to say is like you're compressing time. I think that's the benefit of LinkedIn ads, right? Or just ads in general. You're compressing time versus the organic. Organic takes time, right? I even heard that with my scriptwriter job, right? He posted something and then a month later it went up and then it shoot like to 1 million. So it's a time there's a time delay for doing free the organic because the algo controls it. Whereas in ads, I think that's the angle. You can like just like instantly know what the data will show because you're paying money for this access, for these people. Um, yeah, for example, like if Amazon changed one color of their like CTAs, like in seconds they would immediately have that data coming back
Yeah.
to them. It's just depending on how much like can you like yeah the money is the bottleneck in ads. I feel like I know there's strategy and all that, but it's more of like the money, like how much money are you all actually front loading. So if it's just 2K, right, 1K is just gonna be spent in 1 week because I think the ideal is like if they really believe it works. Now they're like also in that mental bandwidth of like compressing compressing the data to like instead of 1 month to just 1 day because it's kind of like the same thing, right? They're just gonna get data, you're just putting it to more people, right? um I like that. I mean, for me, like, okay, 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. I'm gonna know if LinkedIn works for me, and if it works, I immediately also know what's the lead magnet to convert those, so that I can sell to them because I know how to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe some of them have that, even whether that's true or not. We don't care
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
not. But I think they have that ego in the. Okay, I kind of like this because I have 2K. Yeah, I have 2K, and then I can know immediate. Yeah, I mean for me, like if I have that money, I would like would all we need to do then if they believe in that dream, right? The value, yeah, like what you said, the second pillar. Maybe the first pillar is just convincing them to have that. You know what I mean? Like a conversion mechanism type of pillar, and then the second is like your strategy, your point of view, right? How like what makes you the only person that would actually deliver that, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. For your pillars as well. Even though we're not there yet. Anyways, this is a good session. Okay, that's more clear to me now. Like the ICP, yeah, they just want to check. Like that's so clear. Like they just want to see if LinkedIn works, and if it does, the immediate benefit is like you simultaneously will know what lead magnet to work on. I'm not promising you you're gonna have some leads, okay? Like, nobody can promise you. If somebody's promising you that, they're lying to you. How can they know that they haven't tested? That's why I have this. It's a test
Mm.
run. Like, I think they're not. I think they would like even like you more because you're being real with them. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe if you want a contrarian approach to how we position you, like yeah, you're gonna go against those people who are claiming immediate things without test. You're the research guy, remember? Like that's our whole brand. So
Mm.
I'm all about testing. I don't care about my opinions. It's more of like I need to test first. So if you're
Yeah.
a seven figure or 5 to 20 mil, I'm sure you would agree like it would be dumb to invest 10K immediately to something that you haven't proven to yourself if it works for you. It might work for every other people, but you don't know with data
Yeah.
if you, so I think that's the whole, it's simple, right?
Yeah. That's the gap. Like research says this is the best way for agencies to market currently, but let's see if this would work for you.
Yeah, yeah, it works. Like, yeah,
For
I think
yours
yeah,
market.
it works. Like, but my question, does it work to you? Yeah, I think we need to drill that. Like we need to make them believe that it works, right? But the CTA is like the only problem is like we don't know yet if it works for you. So here's my proposal, right? There's 2 weeks. I have this system called X, right? Whatever you want to call it. It's just a 2 week immediate sprint. By the end of that, you will know if LinkedIn is worth even putting resource. And here's why. And then yeah, you know what I mean. Like here's how I'll do it. X Y Z. Blah blah blah. It's just 2K, 1K for the ads, 1K for my fee. Just the beginning. To set it up for you, and then by the end, you will know. We'll create this lead magnets for you. Hypothesis. I'm gonna share all the data to you. So whether this will work or not, by the end you will have all the data, like how many people like visit, how like they do just have the tangibles of like the outputs, right, that they're gonna get, right, and then the data of how many of the leads got, right, so that you have actual gaining insights, if you want to move forward in this platform or not. I think a lot of these folks will just say yes to that. And I think to close this part of the session, um I think your angle for me, based on everything that you're saying, like they will bite on that new mechanism of like market research based approach. Yeah, the helping them to do the market research, I think is huge. Like I think nobody's claiming that right now. All of the people are just, yeah, saying a lot of promises. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 feeds per day. All of them are saying that, man. There's no original thought. It's so
Mm.
easy to stand out right now. And you have that. I didn't even thought of that, if I'm being honest. Like the research based type of angle, I didn't. So it's a very unique. So especially for our audience, it's saturated, right? They've seen it all of the offers they probably heard before. I'm sure when they hear this, they probably might heard it, but it's only few people are claiming, or at least framing it this way in the front end messaging that they're having.
Cool.
Okay. Um I think we should just focus on the voice. I think we have already the backbone of everything, in my opinion.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay. How do you want me to explain that to you?
Yeah, just give me a sec.
I can show you posts. I have a list of people that I like the writing of potentially.
Oh, yep.
I like different aspects from different people. So there's not necessarily one person that I like the most, or one person that's exactly what I want to do, but there's some people that are close.
I like that. That's so important for me too when I'm writing. Okay, let's just do the. At least this is just I know we're gonna do that, but this is more of like the technical side, so that we see what if this matches to what you're saying. So we're gonna go in the. So there's like five writing. Actually, there's only like, I know everybody will say I'm unique, right? The way I'm saying is unique, but at the end of the day, if we boil it down, there's only five writing voices. Okay, what I mean by that is like the way we're communicating, and of course, as humans, we're not just one, but there's always a dominating type of writing voice, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna share that. So one is the narrator. Okay, so it's this is the person that's like when always almost all the time when you ask him a question, he always says, "Yeah, so let me tell you a story." Right? Like he always like starts with a story, right? He wants
Mm.
to use real stories, dates, real examples, right? That's the narrator. Second one, advocate. So strong opinions, like conviction, right? Here's what I believe. Like I feel like AI will take over. You know those the crazy claims. Okay, so that's the advocate type. The third one is the architect. So the architect is more of like, okay, I have a system. They always say when you ask, okay, so there's three things that I want to talk about right now. So first, second, like they always have that system, framework, how to. you build it. Like you know, they're like very structured in the way they're communicating. Fourth one, challenger. So this is more of like similar to the conviction, but the difference is like, yeah, he's really picking like somebody, like you know what I mean. Like the industry's broken. Like they start always like there's something wrong, and then they're gonna do that, right? They're gonna say about that. They're gonna poke the industry, right? So those are, and also lastly the analyst. So the analyst is like, I think this is where I feel like you come in. Like they like research data stats. You prove things with numbers. So let's start. So I just shared that, okay, just to and then I'm gonna start rating you now. So I'm gonna type first, narrator. So you just give me like a number, okay?
Out of
Um,
what?
yeah, out of those five. So I'm just gonna type first. So for example, if I ask you out of one, I just explained it, right?
Yeah, okay, so order them.
Yeah, yeah, for each one. So let's start. So for the narrator, out of 1 to 10, what do you feel like? Do you your voice is at
3.
3? Okay, got it. How about the advocate? Strong opinions, conviction. You stand for something. Is that what you want to be known for?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. 6 or 7. For the analyst, it's like again the data, stats, research. You prove things with numbers.
The analyst, isn't that the last one?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, yeah. I just remixed. Yep.
But that's fine. Yeah, analyst would be like a 9.
Yep. 9. Yeah, I would expect that. Architect is more of like the framework. I have a system.
Yeah, that would also be pretty high. 8.
8. Last one, the challenger, like yeah, bold, like probably this is the Gary V. Just to simplify things, this is the Gary Vaynerchuk of the world. Like they have a very
Yeah,
broad.
also 6 or 7, say 6.
Yeah, 6. Okay, got it. With the architect and the analyst, man. I think that's, yeah. Even for me, if I analyze the way you're
Yeah.
doing writing voice, it's this.
Mm. I really like how Alex Hormozi's done things, because when Alex Hormozi says something, I don't know if you have this view of him,
Mm-hmm.
but when Alex Hormozi says something, I feel like, oh, I can trust it, because he doesn't make fake claims. It's always backed on data, experience, and a
I
lot
like
of it.
that.
Like, he won't say something if he's not sure.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like I'm gonna prove it with data, and then I'm gonna show you how to build it. I think that's your writing style in a sense. Like I'm gonna start with the data first, the stats to prove my thing is legit, like what you said, Alex Ramosi type, and then I'm gonna show you how to build it. That's the only reason why we're trusting him in the first place. I made 200 million. It's like now he's like saying that now. It's more even crazier. Like his claim now. I have a holding company, acquisition.com. I almost memorized it, like we're doing about 250 million a year. No,
Mhm.
like he's like yeah, because of school probably. Like my theory, like the reason why that shoot up real quick is because of school. He's now co-founder of that, right, with Sam Owens. Okay, now
Mm.
we're gonna do your tone. Okay, so this one is easier. There's only two that you're I'm gonna be ranking you.
Okay.
For the structure, just again 1 to 10. Like what I mean by structure is like, is it is it one is like casual, writing, and then 10 is the super formal. Which one do you like lean towards to?
Casual.
Like yeah. So again, one is gonna be that. So is it like super casual? One is like the super casual. 10 is like the super
Oh,
formal.
you want a number? Okay.
Yeah,
Probably
the
4.
range 4. Okay, so at least you're still like wanting to go a little bit formal, if that, yeah, semi, like we're in the range of the semi casual, semi formal, if that's the case. Got it. Yeah, that's fine, by
Yeah,
the way.
I don't want to write. So when we message, like when you message me on LinkedIn,
Oh,
that would be casual to me.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what I would say for one. That's too casual. Like I'm messaging a friend about catching up later. Grammar doesn't matter. Like, yeah. Where
Yeah.
I want to be is like I'm messaging a friend who's asked me an important question.
Mm.
and I'm taking time to reply, making sure that he understands what I'm saying. But he's my friend. I'm not going to say super formal, like the hypothesis of this
Yeah, dear.
experiment was to formalize a process of. It's just like what we were testing for was
Right.
say it formally, but say it clearly and properly.
Got it. Got it. Okay. By the way, yeah, that's exactly my voice, like super casual.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna straight. Okay. For the energy. Okay, so one is gonna be super playful. Okay, and then 10 is the super serious one.
Four.
Four. Okay.
Or even five, like probably five. Not serious.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a bit of fun here and there, but most of it is,
Just a balance. Yeah.
yeah, a balance. So in a piece of writing, so let's say we write four posts, maybe one of them might have a joke or something funny.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
basically, what you're trying to say, like 90%, it's like pure value, and then we can have like a nuance of like an inside joke or just a joke in general within that. Yep.
if it comes up and if it's appropriate, we don't have
Yep.
to put it in just for the sake of having it. But yeah,
Yeah.
you have people that are like, yeah, huddle around homies, let me tell you, and it's like very, very playful. Have you come across King Kong before?
Like the movie or no?
No, the agency. There's an agency in Australia
Yeah.
called King Kong.
Yeah. I'm.
Sabri Subi. Have you heard of Sabri Subi?
Yeah. 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 That guy said like a lot of ads. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, so he's the owner of that agency. He's like very playful, that kind of stuff,
Mm.
where he would say things like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to teach you ways on how to bring your ad costs down because currently everybody's ad costs are so high, higher than like a druggie on cocaine." Or like he does silly things like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but that's his whole. If you watch any of his ads, it's him walking around and
Yeah. Yeah. It's
doing
funny.
stupid stuff. That's too much for me. I was somewhere in the middle. Most of the time, it's like I'm just communicating clearly, but I'm a person. I'm also genuine. I'm happy to have a bit
It's
of
almost a.
fun,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to tell you something clearly and not playfully.
Right. I feel like if I'm correct, like it's like the Alex Ramosi is like that too. Like he's not
Yeah,
super like but he sometimes say some jokes too. Like for
exactly. Alex Hormozy is
but it's
pretty
timely
much
though.
bang on.
Yeah,
He's not. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the way he's doing it is like he's only saying his jokes when he's talking about a story. I think that's where the placement of the jokes are. Or if he's explaining something about his take. But if it's like explaining the value equation, for example, he's not gonna joke around that. You know, he's
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
full on. But if he's sharing like a story about how he failed that, yeah, those are the part where and then he even like I can see his videos because I've seen a lot, like probably like 100 hours of his like I could
Mm.
say, you know what I mean? So I've seen that. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Alex Hormozy is the closest person I could give you because he's not.
He's smart
Again,
too. You know what I mean? He's smart too. Like he's not dumb. There's a reason why we
yeah.
like him. It's a
Essentially,
walking
what he's just trying to
contradiction.
do is
Yeah, sorry.
he's
Continue.
focusing on communicating a message effectively
Mm.
without trying too hard about the words. If you read someone like Alex James, I don't know if you can remember his stuff, but it'll be worth reading afterwards. He's a very good writer. So
Mm.
not only is the message good, the words he uses is very good. I can send you one of his
Yeah,
posts that would be worth reading and you can see what I mean. That's
mm-hmm.
very hard to do. I tried to do that. The problem is if you miss that standard, you sound like AI.
Mm.
Not this, but this, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So that makes sense for me. And okay. So now we're gonna so we ran quickly. So we already have the initially the structure of the voice, and then you have the tone, right? Like literally what we said. And now we have the style. Okay. So okay, my first question would be for the sentence length,
Mm.
short or punchy, Flo- or maybe flowing or mixed. Yeah, we can mix it up a little bit.
At the moment, most of the writing I'm doing is short and punchy. I am happy to move away from that a little bit and have a blend where we would have some sentences can be a bit longer, maybe even mini paragraphs, and others can be short and punchy. So somewhere in the middle. On the one spectrum, you would have the people who write and everything is a mini paragraph. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the standard LinkedIn post, which is like
One
sentence,
line.
sentence, sentence, sentence. Yeah. That's if you have a look at the stuff I'm currently doing, it's more in that camp of short and punchy. I think we can move a little bit away from that, but it depends. I think emails, I'm happy to be closer to paragraphs.
Mm,
LinkedIn stuff, I'm happy to be closer to punchy
got it. Yep. So,
because
yeah.
of the platform.
Okay. So to double down, because like, yeah, I'm more focused on the LinkedIn. So do you still want to double down on the short and punchy on LinkedIn, or are you again open to the idea to test there's some short and punchy, but at the same time maybe 3 lines where it's
Yeah.
needing. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy to test. If short and punchy is on one end and long paragraphs is on the other, maybe it would be around 3 to 5.
Mm,
Something like that. We can play around in that range. Currently, I would say I'm a two or a 3. So we can shift up a little bit. Like we can still do what I'm currently doing. That's fine. But we can play around going to 5, going a little bit longer for some sentences.
I get what you're trying to say though. Like a rhythm of like the way the writing is
Mm,
been structured. Yeah, I almost like have an idea already. But okay,
cool.
paragraph one. So for the paragraphs, I think we already said this. Yeah, just one-liners, but yeah, mixture.
I can show you examples if you want.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, probably later after our call. Like, I feel like even for the stuff I send you, right? I feel like I know you're busy, right? We haven't got around that, so yeah, maybe
Yeah.
after
So
the
it's just been the weekend.
Yeah, no, I know you mentioned that you don't work on weekends as well. So, yeah. Um, what is I'm trying to say? We can also like add those again to the list. Like just links. Those are just links though. It's quick to search for you.
Mm.
Oh yeah, here one. I need to save it though, so that
Yeah, that's one that would probably be not super short, but not super long. If you open on LinkedIn, you'll see that some sentences are a bit shorter, but most of them are mid-length. Some of them are a bit longer. So variety in the sentence length, I think, is also helpful.
right.
I'm more of a fan of very short hooks as much as possible to get the hooks as short as possible,
Oh, I got what you're trying to say. Yeah.
just
So
so that
there's
it's
three lines.
clear to communicate. Like in this case, turns out most niche agencies didn't niche down, they started that way. That's a good length to me.
Hmm. I like this. Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah, we can. I got what I'm gonna just demonstrate once we're here. Okay. Okay. What? Oh, here. So I have that. So it's more. This is gonna be a rapid thing. Okay. It's not that. Um. So which one do you prefer? Metaphors or real examples?
Real
Here.
examples.
Okay. Um. Like almost all. I'm just gonna ask, but I know the answer. Data or stories? Data, right?
Yeah, data would be more.
Yeah. That's your
I'm
bread.
I'm happy. I'm happy to tell stories, but I'm realizing people like specifics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Let's
you can
just.
tell a story, but put data in the story.
Yeah. If telling a story, put data. Yeah, and
Mm.
also like the whole branding that we're building for you is revolving around that. You're demystifying basically marketing. Okay. So questions or statements?
Statements. I'm
Okay,
okay
because
to ask questions, but I don't really like rhetorical questions,
okay, got it. I think
which
this.
AI likes quite a lot.
Yeah, I think we
What is
should
the
go.
solution then? Question mark. Like
Mm,
stuff like that.
mm. Yeah, I think we should just be, because since you're a research guy, statements is gonna be more make sense just because you have the data already. Research zone, and unless you want, yeah, it's weird if you ask that question because you already answered the question right with insight. Less or next one, less or pros. Pros is, I think you, yeah, we I think kind of know the answer. It's
What was
less,
the
right?
first one?
Less or less, like less because like 10 things or two things, or pros is more like creative way of saying it.
Alex James writes with a lot of prose. So when
Mm,
I say he writes really well, that's what I mean. I'm in the middle. Use a list when you need to. I do really like prose. It's just hard to write well. It takes a lot of effort because you have
yeah.
to not only think about what am I trying to say clearly, now how do I make that clever? So the standard copywriting rule is clear, not clever. Prose to me is clear and clever when done well. So I do like fun words and that kind of thing, but yeah, I'm happy to just be clear. I think it'll be easier to do at scale.
Mm, yeah, you're trying to say it's like if we can't nail the pros, at least we are clear. I mean, Alex
Yeah.
Hormozy is not doing pros. You know what I mean? Like
No, he's
he's
not
this
exactly.
very
He's
very,
just
and
clear.
he's crushing it because I feel like
Yeah.
that's like the Gary Vaynerchuk of the world. Like yeah, you know what I mean? I feel like even Gary with his abrasiveness, like he's still creative. He's more of the prose guy because he's like saying stuff that we already know, but saying it wildly different way. You know?
Mm. Yeah, and I think that's important when you're trying to get across a concept that people have heard before.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
need to say it differently. For example, we've heard like, oh, create a separate marketing campaign for each service, but we haven't heard niche advertising.
mm, yeah, that's why you
People
need to
can
be more
say
clear,
similar concepts,
right?
but we're saying it in a way that's getting people to pay attention because they haven't heard it that way before. So I do like my insights to be short and prosy where possible. They don't have to be, but it is nice, yeah, to just have it captured well. So an example might be something like your reputation isn't determined by your best posts, but the average of all of them.
Mm,
Not super prosy, but you can see it's short and succinct, that kind of thing. Alex James would write with a lot of things where he would say like, these days people say your follower count doesn't matter
mm,
on LinkedIn, but actually the data shows that the more followers you have, the more views you do get. But it turns out it's actually not just for followers, it's actually the familiarity of those people to you, because you can send connection requests. That doesn't grow your audience.
mm,
It's actually when people are familiar with your work, then they engage, and that engagement is what boosts your post. So
got it.
don't collect followers, build them. That would be an example of a line that Alex James would say, like, don't collect followers, build them. So it's a bit more prosy in that regard. So it's like, I'm okay to do that if it's done well, but no need, if that makes sense. Just clear, short,
Got it. Yep.
nice
Mm-hmm.
balance in the sentence, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Now we're just gonna go a little bit for the formatting. So this is just general, but we're not gonna use that much of this data with LinkedIn anyways. So do you do like headers, bold, I think the best question here is like, do you are you open to like doing like that bullet point in the format, like even like a slash or like a bullet point or an arrow? Are you down to that or no?
When it's
Very
needed, yeah. If that will help communicate the point better, yes.
okay.
But I don't default to that. I rather write without it, and only if it helps more. I don't like arrows. I prefer dashes or bullet points.
Okay. Do you default to concrete specifics or abstract ideas? I think I already know the answer. Concrete specifics.
Yeah, concrete
Yeah,
specifics.
we're not. I think yeah, that's the good thing about when we figure out your core. Like it's almost as if like we're following because we know you're the research. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be so weird if you have abstract ideas. Okay. Any quirks that you have that you want to be embedded or no? It's fine.
No, not at this point.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, no problem. This not this more like yeah. By the way, this is just like fine tweaking. It's not that big of a deal. Um, do you prefer starting sentences with and or but?
Yeah, I don't mind that. They don't have to, but I do that a decent amount.
Hmm.
A
But
lot of my writing has that,
mm-hmm. Which one do you
which I got,
prefer, like the and or a but?
it depends on the context.
Okay, got it.
I use both. And but because so, then I use those a decent amount. Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite phrase or phrases to repeat?
No, just our main things that we're trying to get across. Don't niche your agency, niche your advertising, those types of things.
Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. Um, this is the last one. So, okay. Imagine you're at a bar with another agency founder and they're complaining about leads drying up and they're thinking about hiring a LinkedIn agency. Um, you want to convince them to start your approach instead. How would you actually say it? You're not trying to sell to them. It's just like how you would talk to a friend.
Sorry, what was the middle bit? What about what was the sentence with my approach?
Yeah, so you want to convince them with your approach instead.
Yeah, okay. I would start with the big picture. So I would start with the research and say something like, so actually a bunch of research around this in terms of what separates high growth agencies from the rest, so the top 25% by growth rate. And that first finding is that they have predictable marketing. That is a big correlation. Now, if they've already on that, then I wouldn't mention that point. I would just go straight to, so I've actually done a lot of research on this. And if we look at the three main ways to get clients, you have cold outreach, you have content, and you have ads. Those are the three main digital channels. Cold outreach is the most tried and failed by agencies, almost 40% of agencies. And the reason for that is you're selling expertise, but the cold outreach channel itself makes you look desperate, not like an expert. It's like you're needy for clients and you can't demonstrate your expertise. So I'd recommend not going down that route. In terms of the other two, what the research is actually showing is that content and ads are no longer separate. The best ads started as a piece of content that resonates, and the best content was posted by a person, not a company. And so what's working best at the moment is to post content from your personal profiles, see what resonates, and then boost it. So that would be the approach that I would take. If we had a look at what network to use, the data shows LinkedIn has 5 times higher ROI from memory. I'll need to check those figures than Meta. And so LinkedIn is where you want to start. Not only does that show in the data, but it's cheaper than Meta, because people talk about Meta as a cost per lead. I'm getting leads for $8. The problem is 1 out of 10, 1 out of 50 leads might be your client because you're not targeting small businesses, or at least you shouldn't. Whereas on LinkedIn, instead of 1 out of 50, it's 40 out of 50 will be your ICP. And so when it's cost per qualified lead, LinkedIn is actually cheaper. So not only is it better and a higher ROI when it comes to closing the sale, but the leads are actually cheaper and they're more qualified. So it's less effort to filter through them. To start on LinkedIn, thought leadership ads are what's performing really well on the conversion side. But the thing is, it's a new format as well. So it's also like 4 times cheaper than the other ads on LinkedIn. So people say LinkedIn ads are expensive. It's actually not when you look at the cost per lead, but this format is also 4 times cheaper and it's performing like, I think the conversion rates are about, like if we just look at click-through rates, it's 10 times higher. 10 times. So significantly more impact, significantly cheaper cost, you get way different results. So that's the almost like the data back, like hidden approach that's working well right now. And obviously we get sold a lot of stuff by gurus like The Secret, That Secret, but we're basically with LinkedIn thought leadership ads, it's like Facebook ads 10 years ago. Because they just came out. They're a new concept. It's working really well, super cheap as a result of being new, super effective as a result of being new. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Give me a sec.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
Okay, so I think we're done in a sense of like everything, but I just want to go back because I recall I don't know what time did we talk about this, about the mechanism, about what we want to call your system, because like even for you, you said it right. They need to believe you that you're unique enough in the execution part where they would want to consider to work with you. You know what I mean? I think I'm convinced now, even for me, you selling me this idea, that it would work. If I have the money and I'm that, probably I'm just gonna. But the next probable objection that I have, you completely dismantled the first, is like to convince me. By the way, you're very good at communicating. Yeah, like what you said, like clearly now articulating like why should I do it with you, or I could just use AI. I mean, there's so many like objections now,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
could
yeah.
just use AI or just hire my own team.
Mm,
My proposal is like we need to come up with a term, because until you have a coined term, like you can explain all you want, right? But it's gonna be rough for you down way, because like um I think I don't know, maybe Alex is not doing it that way, but I mean your friend, that Alex Ramosi, but I'm sure
Alex
he has
James.
a, yeah, he has a system too, or what he calls his system, so that when his clients say hear that, okay, I want to learn that system, because I of course he created that. You know what I mean? So we always like go back to the idea of, thought leadership ads, or the niche or advertising system.
Mm. Okay. Currently, I'm calling it, if I open this up, because I do have names for it. I've been calling the whole system the agency authority system, whether that's the best name or not.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole system: thought leadership ads, diagnostic, market research, workshops, like the full thing that we would build out over time. How do we get you to be seen as an authority? That's the agency authority system. Maybe it could be named better, but that's what I've done at the moment. The first piece of the agency authority system is the thought leadership ads playbook. Again, whether that's the best name or not sure. I take your point that it's easy. I find it's easy to convince someone of why thought leadership ads is someone they should care about. The piece
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't been doing is why they should do that with me. That's
Yeah.
the bit that I think has been missing. It's going to depend on who I'm talking to, but the main thing there will be around the main competitor is not another agency that's going to help them with it.
No,
The main
no.
competitor is them doing it in-house.
Yes.
And so the argument has to be why you should use me. The main thing I've come up with that at the moment is you can't have, or you shouldn't have, the same marketer doing your delivery and your marketing.
But yeah, I mean that's strong, but also it doesn't answer still the why you don't. I am convinced that I'm not gonna be doing my own marketing, but why then I need to go outside? But why you? I can still look. But here's my thing. I think I have like a thing to suggest. It's the market research thing. Remember we talk about that's the ultimate mode, but we talk about that's the back end of the back end. Remember what we talk about? um but for me, that's, I don't know, man, like I don't I know it would take time, but I'm just wondering, can you do can you compress that even still, like just at least a small sample size of how that would look like, so
Yeah,
that,
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. So the
because
plan
like
is,
fudge, if that's the main thing, I'm telling you it will drive, because the problem is like AI can't do that, your team can't do that, they don't know how the process. I have my own process. That, do you want to see the results? I did this. Like you have a case study of your own. Your case study is yourself. You know what I mean? So
mm,
we don't need any more. Like, and then the whole system, you actually did it already, right? You're the, what do you call it, the authority system, right?
Yeah, the agency authority
Yeah,
system.
agency authority system. You already did it. So for them, I think the moat, like even all of even me, like I told you, right? Even I'm not a target. I like the thing that I really like about you is like the me too, like the research. Like you put in some time. It's so hard to defend that. Like they why not other agencies? Yeah, you already because they don't know. Like, do you know an agency that's gonna do this for you? Probably not, right? And that's why,
Mm,
like, I think that's your at least for now, because I don't see any like direct competitor even for me. I don't see any like agencies like promising research report. No, I haven't heard this. Yeah, this is
mm.
so new for me. So you need to like ride
Yeah,
that wave and become that like your front end is like I'm gonna help you build like if it's still 2 weeks, right? I'm gonna help you hypothesize the report, the data. I don't know, man. I'm just making things up. You're the more expert. Or maybe the promise would be I'm just helping you to come up, or you
mm,
if you already have, I'm just gonna share my idea. It's like the report's gonna come from the actual LinkedIn ads that we're gonna do.
mm.
Maybe the ads is more of like, you know, the asking their audience like I don't know, man. I'm just thinking like you
Yeah,
get what I mean. I
that's
hope you.
closer to the reality. So to give you an idea,
Yeah.
you're right, and maybe I've been downplaying this too much because most marketing agencies don't do research.
No, bro. I'm
Most
gosh.
research agencies don't
Are
do
not
marketing
doing
because
marketing. Yeah, you're
you
the
can go,
yeah, I like that. Yeah, sorry. I like that. You're like the middle. Like so
yeah.
yeah, that's a new category. You remember what we talked about, the legacy
Hmm,
category? That's yeah, now we're going back there. Your new legacy or your new categories like I'm a what they call like research based marketing like bro like nobody and even your moat is like I don't know how I know you told me like you just asked, you know, but don't say that please. You know what I mean, like we need to make it like a structure of course when we're communicating it, but because like me as a marketer too, like that's my insecurity, the research part. I don't know how to do that. So we don't have to tell them that you had, you know what I mean, but you have a case study though to prove it that you did it. You know what I
hmm,
mean? And it's just work. Like as you can see here, like AI can do that. Your team is already full. They don't even have a skill to do that. You literally need to hire someone. But the problem is if you hire a legit researcher, they're gonna gather data that's not relevant to your marketing. But if you hire a marketer, right, they're not gonna even know how to do the market research. That's where I came in. Like I'm gonna give you the research and actually know how to use that research or that data that I'll be extracting for your marketing. I think that's the it's not properly worded, but that's like
hmm.
for me the gist of
Yeah,
the
I like that. Yeah, I really like that. To give you an idea, because there's a few things here, zooming out a bit. So yeah, that's the one key thing is we do blend both of those, and it sounds like I've been underselling that.
yeah.
There's also something that I'm happy to do long term is actually build out their own internal marketing. Maybe that belongs
Yeah, that's
somewhere
the
just as a note that
mm-hmm.
look, you're not going to be dependent on me. And Alex Emosi actually says this in one of his videos. He's like, if I ran a marketing agency, this is what I would say. In most marketing agencies, there's two options. One is I suck and you lose your money.
Mm.
The other option is we're good and now you're stuck and dependent on us and we're
Right.
controlling that
Yeah,
area of your
lock
business.
in. Yeah, lock in forever.
Yeah. We actually give you a third door where we can only do this because we are really good,
Mm-hmm.
where we will use our services to get started and pay for building your internal department long term.
Mm.
And so that way you don't have to worry about hiring people you don't know if it's the right fit for now and have them like try figure things out. We will install the system and set the
Right.
direction, but you won't be dependent on us long term. So that would be an
I
angle that
love that.
could be mentioned. Then there's the research angle as well of we're helping you look like an authority. The only tricky thing that I'm not sure about is there's two sides of marketing when you solve a problem. There's helping someone that is in pain become average, and then you're helping someone who's average become exceptional. For example, I'm overweight and I want to get to skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's skinny and I want to get to buff, right?
Right.
A lot of marketing has that. It's different people. If you look at our situation, it's I don't have any leads and I want predictable lead flow. That's average.
Mm. Mm.
Then there's I have predictable lead flow. I want to be an authority, a market leader in my space. That's
Mm.
above average. So I technically would help with that whole journey. The research piece is helping with average to exceptional. The thought
Ah.
leadership ads are helping from no leads to predictable lead flow. And then we use the thought leadership ads to get data for the research. So they're all connected. So that's the only reason why I haven't been mentioning the research stuff as much, because it's very aspirational. And I thought people who don't have leads just want leads, but maybe it is a unique mechanism to say, like, we will get you leads in a way that also gets you data to set yourself up as an authority. We'll do both.
Yeah, because like yeah, I'm keeping that for a long time when you're talking, by the way. That thing, like I'm just confused, like why is this not in the front end? But yeah, I save it because I saw that time we still have time. So yeah, I feel like some I don't know how to communicate it. I probably need to go back again in our conversation here. There's so many gold mines here. But yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
the front end needs to be the marketing research thing, in my opinion. That's your only moat right now. Like it's answering the question, why should I pick you? Because if you imagine, if you remove that, you're just an average already immediately. Like because you already gave them the idea, right? Just post high
Mm,
quality and then like for them, because their ego is so inflated, they think they can figure. I know it, they can, I know that, but it's a harder sell to believe that they can. Whereas the marketing research, I think almost 90% of marketing agencies are insecure about when you just even like comprehend term research, bro. Like I think they would be
mm,
insecure immediately. We need to tackle them where the ego is not high. Is all I'm trying to say here. I
mm.
think like this, everything
Okay.
here is a psychological game. At this point that they have money, they don't. We don't even want to touch their ego at this point. We want to feel like what I mean is like they're confident, even though it's improper that they have that. We want like super, but they know that that works, but they just haven't figured it out. You know what I mean? I help you in 2 weeks, right? This is my idea, like at least of like if I were to in 2 weeks, right? You're gonna figure out. I think that's a main thing. Like you're gonna figure out if LinkedIn works for you, right? And by the end of that, you will have a research based content based on that data if it works, right? To push. And what's that? Like the lead magnet. So the lead magnet would then decide what's gonna be your actual post. You see what I mean? So we actually didn't change the thing. It's more of like the messaging of like the research is now the main. Instead of saying the lead magnets, we don't even care. Like that's just like the result. It's more of like the research that you're gonna have that will dictate now how you're gonna run. And that's, for example, your lead magnets or your actual content. That this is a flywheel effect, that once we have that. But who's gonna do that market research on your team? Do you know a person in your marketing team that does know how to extract that data or to actually set this whole system up? This authority, you know what I mean, system up, right?
Mm.
Agency authority system up? No, right? That's why I came in. I help you build that LinkedIn ads for you. We're gonna set up the system. We're gonna post three for you content and then see if what resonates, right? And then you know what I mean. We're gonna sound it like a lot of
Yeah.
work,
Okay.
and also because they can do that. I think that's their ego, but also simultaneously track the data, right, and do a research, right, and the basis of that is gonna be research. I'm still like because it's so new right now for me. I don't know how to blend again still the research, but all I'm saying is like true and true. I think your main thing is like research driven marketing agency. Like if they would summarize you, his LinkedIn ads based on research. I know that's like a dumbing down the term, because but
Mm,
like we
okay.
want that, because we are the only one that care about the technicalities, right? For them, they're busy. They want to summarize you in their head. Who's this guy? This guy is different, because you know why? Because he's doing research, bro. Like, imagine if he's talking to his friend or the only thing I like about Jason is like he doesn't care about his opinion. He really likes research based. So what he's gonna do for us, bro, is he's gonna do like 2 weeks sprint with us. He's gonna do market research, but it's subtle. So it would sound like it's an ad, but actually he also would give us the research if um LinkedIn would work for us. And if it does, he said like he would also give us a strategy, right? A content strategy on how we should use that data to actually run LinkedIn, so that we're not running from like spray and pray type of situation. We know what works, because he's gonna give us the research on what he did in the ads. I don't know, like maybe that's the angle. Like, I'm gonna give you ads, but the ads is like you're not spending, like you're burning money. It's a research cost, but it's also acting as a promotion to your business. It's like a two in
Mm,
one thing. Like, you're already being promoted by the people that you want, but they don't know in the back of that, simultaneously between you and me, it's actually subtle research too for us. So I don't know how to blend that, like saying to them that we're gonna position it for them like a promotion for their business, but it's also simultaneously acting without the ICP knowing, right? They're part of a market research that you're gonna gather for them within just the 2 weeks. So now it's almost like irresistible. Like, I'm getting
mm.
to, because I would imagine they would assume like a market research would just cost 2K anyways. And now you're saying not just that, you're also gonna be promoting your business across, I don't know how many people you need to know. I don't know, like you're gonna be in front of 10, for example, 10,000 people on LinkedIn, your specific ICP. Plus, when they do, um, they're not, they don't know in the back end, we are doing market research on what works for your business. It's not anymore even like the position of like knowing what if LinkedIn would work. It's more of like just knowing how LinkedIn will work for you. I don't know if you like that even better. Because
Mm.
there's a fear there, if LinkedIn will not work, there's this assumption it will not work. I don't like that negative con. It's more like how LinkedIn will work for you. So we need to imply that LinkedIn is already gonna work for them in a
Yeah,
positive
yeah,
sense.
yeah. I
But
prefer that as
but
well.
but we need to go. Yeah, you know already, right? So if I would, you already know, right, that LinkedIn is will work, because your ICP is here. You probably know, you probably have a LinkedIn Premium, whatever, and you can toggle them. But the problem is like your only question is how LinkedIn will work for me. So that's
Mm,
where I came in. I'm Jason. I'm a research based LinkedIn ads agents. I have a LinkedIn, whatever, and I help you actually know. Like, that's the only promise. How LinkedIn will work, or it's not anymore a question of like whether LinkedIn will work or not. It's more how LinkedIn will work for you, not based on your observations or your what the guru tells or whatever, right? It's
mm.
because it's no one's. It's like it's everybody's different, right? Yeah, you can follow principles in there, but you need to find your specific personalized way, because you're unique, you're different. That's why we need to run that test. But at the same time, it's also acting as a promotion for your business as well. So you're getting two in one with just your 2K. And then by the end of that 2 weeks, you have I don't know what that deliverables now, because it's a new idea we just came up. Like,
Yeah,
whatever is inside of the research, and then the data of like what's the lead magnet like conversions, and like the click to rate, whatever, right? So it's a complete different offer now. I don't know if this is clicking or something.
mm.
Let me know.
Yeah, yeah. So let me just give you more of an idea because I'm not sure if we'll be able to get research data in the 2 weeks, but we can obviously work out a research report topic. But a report in my case took 3 to 4 months to make.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of effort. The roadmap I was planning to follow was we get LinkedIn ads out
Mm-hmm.
running to a PDF lead magnet, right?
Right.
That gets lead downloads. We then connect and message those leads and email them a diagnostic we created that helps apply that lead magnet to them. And so that'll ask 25 questions and help personalize stuff to their business. That's how we get our data. So in my situation,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
but
continue.
that's not in the 2 weeks. And
Okay.
yeah, so 2 weeks is what PDF lead magnet, which could be the report topic, but the thing is, we can't build the report until we have data. So what we could do is we could make them a report that is based on third party data, other people's data. We make it based on what the data says out there into their report, and then next year we make them a report on their own data once we've collected 100 responses or something like that.
I got what you're trying to say. We cannot promise that they have like a research full like what I get it, but maybe the promise then would be I still want a research because that's again your moat, right? That would initiate, maybe that's the angle. Like this ads is not just acting as a promotion. This would initiate, right? The actual, probably don't say this probably in the LinkedIn. It's more of the sales call, I would imagine, right? When they're asking like why they should choose you, right? Because that I think like even with this to our conversation, like that's the bottleneck right now, right? Why they should, because I'm gonna be the one. Are you open to that? Like I'm gonna be the one setting that up, that workflow for you when they download, right? And then we're gonna have a flow. Is that what you're trying to say? And to, so now instead of like cold email, they're warm email, right? I just noticed that because they gave their email.
Yeah, they would be on your
That's more
newsletter
you.
and all this stuff.
So that's
Yeah,
like the thing that you're trying to. So I'm building side both. Like all I'm saying is I don't, yeah, because you're the expert here. What I'm just saying is just at least the idea to help you is like, yeah, but I'm saying is like when you communicate it, the way that's you're unique, it's like you're embedding the research while you're, you know what I mean, promoting them. That's so unique. Like all the people is either connect doing heavy on the research or doing heavy on the promotion. Nobody's saying like I'm simultaneously doing both for you at the same time. I'm running the data, I'm collecting it, and I'm organizing it for you, and I'm giving you insights that only what you need because you don't want to read the data, right? But what I'm giving you at the end of this is like the result. So maybe that promise is like, yeah, once we have that, and then if somebody actually responded part of the 2 weeks, like a, maybe we can call it like a bonus. Or I don't know, man. You need to make this up. It's like I'm gonna help you create that lead flow for you, like a questionnaire, where um so that they can gather. I have a question. We can embed that immediately in the made up lead magnet. Am I correct? Before they get
potentially. Can
so
I show you the
sorry.
flow?
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Sure,
just
sure.
show you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got the thought leader ads experiment, 2 weeks.
Right.
3 posts, 3 lead magnet concepts.
Right.
They're not built. These are waiting lists.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
I'm finding PDF lead magnets work better up front. So these would be PDF lead magnets. So like a research report, right? The next thing is then we have our monthly. So let's say this is 2K, including ad spend.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our monthly thought leader ads. So this is monthly and it's going to be 5K. So this is going to be, say, 12 posts per month, and then thought leader ads.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we need to, so here after this thought leadership ad experiment, we know which lead magnet to build. So we got to build the lead magnet. So build the lead magnet. I don't have final prices on this, so I'm just going to guess, but let's say that's 5,000 to make a report. It's going to depend on how much we need to do. Is it just writing a report based on data they have? Or do we need to research other people's research and compile it together? So there's a few options there. So they're building the lead magnet. That's the second thing. This lead magnet is what we're going to use here to run the thought leadership ads to. Cool. The other thing that's going to be in this is a weekly newsletter. So we'll have one newsletter a week, 12 LinkedIn posts a month. Here we got the lead magnet. That's going to start collecting us leads. So that's what they need to do to get up and running. After this test, we should have one lead magnet concept that works. That's the goal, or works the best. Now, we don't have to pause the ads until this is built. We can keep the ads running to the waitlist, and we just keep that running. Every week we're building the waitlist. When this is done a month later or whenever, we then email everyone and let them know that's out. In the meantime, obviously, they can be contacting those leads on LinkedIn or wherever and seeing if they can have a chat. So that's those things. The next thing then is building a diagnostic or an assessment. So that'll be something like this. This is my version. It's a bit slow. Let me just go here. If you go to the website, we have a diagnostic here. Benchmark your Australian agency's growth metrics, built for 7 to 8 figure agencies from the financial data of Australian agencies doing 1 to 21 million. They answer some questions and we compare their agency to the average, to the top 25% across core metrics. This is what gets us data.
So, okay. This is what I'm, okay, that's okay. I get it now. What
That's
would
later.
make, okay, so this is what I'm saying. Can we build this, and instead of this is like 1, 2, 3, this is like the fourth, just put it at the top.
We
Simultaneous.
can. The problem is,
Yeah, that's the thing.
PDF lead magnets convert better in the ads, from what I've seen.
Okay, got it.
So this diagnostic is not used in ads.
Oh,
It's used when somebody actions an ad, they get this lead magnet.
okay. I have a
Once
question.
they get this lead magnet, we connect on LinkedIn and say, hey, as part of this lead magnet, we also have a diagnostic.
Yes. So that's what, so, but all I'm trying to say is like, I'm not removing things. I'm just trying to compress and it is in front loading, I think, what they want. Because like this one is like, for me, so thought leadership ad experiment, right? 2 weeks, right? I think what you need is like immediately after that is like, what's this, like build the PDF, like this is the winning concept, right? The 5K is this the winning concept for the 3.
Yes.
I feel like because you even said like the build a diagnostic 5K, right? It should connect immediately after that, not the monthly. You know what I mean? Like the flow that they got there, I think they would more likely to believe that that would make sense, because like I think what they want is just the research part, right?
But this is going to take 6 months to a year to get them the research report.
Got it.
So you need to think longer term, because we need ideally at least 30, but ideally 100 submissions of this, right?
Got it.
We need 100 submissions of this. We need 400 submissions of this, maybe even 500 submissions of this, right? It can be $20 per lead. So $20 times 100. So that's, sorry, times 500. So that's $10,000 of ad spend. It depends how much they're spending. But if they're spending $2,000 a month, it's going to take 5 months.
That's what I'm saying.
To get enough data for the research report.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
then
saying,
it's going to take 2 months to write this research report.
Got it. Fudge. But
so
I
don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
My understanding is we sell them this because they need to be thinking about a 1-year time frame anyway.
Yeah.
We sell this as the unique mechanism, but then we start small. I don't think they will mind that we're getting,
Yes.
because we're getting them leads. This is their marketing.
Yeah. So
We're
this
we're
is
already
I'm
setting them
the
up as
research
a thought
report,
leader,
man.
industry leader here.
Woo. Yeah. I'm telling you, the research
Yeah,
report is the Trojan horse. I don't know what's if that's the proper word yet. They're gonna be. I want to have a report. Yeah, because it would drive like the promise. It will drive everything for your marketing. Your research is your marketing or something like that. A bold claim because like
yeah,
you don't want to be like you're gonna counter the BS of all these claims that you seeing in this is the only like maybe you can even this is the only way to even convince a saturated market like us, right? Is to just have that, you know what I mean? Just a research report. Because like if you don't
mm.
have this, AI can literally because like I'm not even caring about age. I'm my fears like the competitor is AI. If I'm being honest, like the AI is but AI can't do that. It literally needs manual work to do this. You're
Yeah.
not
No, I
full.
understand.
So this is the 20K is like the front end, and then the mechanism probably is just a 2 week sprint to start things off. Yeah, I got what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's just so sad. Like what I'm saying is like, I'm still pushing. In that research report 20K, can we like I'm just thinking like a quick win. You get what I mean? Like because the triples and three lead magnet concepts is not still hitting for me. Like it's not an irresistible offer. But if you promise to them that you're gonna like include some part, I'm not saying the whole report, like I said, it's impossible. But some part that they would be interested in to get alongside that like a mini like I said, like quick win for them in that 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
But the quick win is knowing whether LinkedIn is going to work for you. That's the win. As the bonus is then having leads. So we're doing a mini experiment to see if
Oh,
LinkedIn will
okay.
work.
Okay.
And they're going to maybe have 3 to 10 leads as a result of that.
Got it. Got it. Okay, so
Maybe more. They could even have like 30 to 50.
right.
So I think that's pretty appealing. We don't have to stack it too much. Like, hey, let's know if LinkedIn's going to work for you and get you a few leads. We will then know the direction to go in, and we can do a presentation with the data from that on what the different lead magnets like people chose and the numbers behind that. But if I said to you for comparable numbers, hey Francis, how about I run a 2 week experiment where we see what lead magnet works best for you, and that way you can know what your clients want, as well as you will maybe have 5, 10, 20 leads to reach out to afterwards, and that's going to cost $20. Are you in?
Yeah, of course.
Because that's what the price will be like for them, and that's including ad spend. You don't have to worry about ad spend for these
Mm.
ads. It's included in the $20.
I think that's the yeah. I think we should wrap it up. Instead of saying if LinkedIn will work for them, it's more of like if what type of content will work for you already. So we're already implying just need to find
Yeah, that
what
works
works.
too. Yeah.
I think that's a stronger like and a more positive so that there's no more like burning of boats type of situation if it doesn't work. It's more like if it doesn't work, we just need to run more tests. You get what I mean? Like in their minds, we just they need to be convinced that LinkedIn will work. They just don't know how it will work for them yet. If is that's I think that's the case. So I think this is a high ROI, like even for me, like a high revelatory like insight for me, like how to position this. Everything that you're trying, like all I care about in the LinkedIn, just by the way, for the pillar is just this part right here, the 2K. Like we're not even gonna talk about, you know what I mean? This is like a mini research report in a nutshell.
Yeah, for their business, it's data collection. Obviously, they can't use that in their marketing per se.
Right. It's just an internal thing.
It's an
It's
internal experiment.
internal. Yeah, maybe we could make something up like the one of the outcomes like internal research report on what the data showed on that research. Just
Yeah, we can create a presentation.
yeah, that's what that's all I'm trying to say, Jason. By the way, I didn't say like yeah, yeah, yeah. So that they have data because they like the way you're presenting data to them, right? That's the way we're driving them.
Yeah.
They probably want a mini version of that in their internal team. Like research found out a person, maybe we could call it like a personalized internal research report, where that will be based on the 2 week sprint. Like that's a bonus. I don't know. Like yeah, probably yeah, data. Yep. It's like a
Yeah, that's
bonus.
yeah, that's fine. That'll be one of the deliverables.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you,
So,
this one would like work because like it's a mini version of what they're gonna be getting in the back end, like the research report 20K. They would see how you work, how you present data, and then they would like have the thing here is like how to decide, right? That's the promise. So we're gonna suggest to them how they're gonna be deciding too, based on data.
yeah. The thing we also have to bear in mind here that I'm not sure about is there's two sides, right?
What is
Below
it?
average to average, average to exceptional. This speaks more to below average to average, which is majority of the market. Majority of the
Mm,
market doesn't have enough leads,
right. I think that's your ICP too. Yeah, you mentioned.
right? Yeah. This is applying more to average to exceptional. So there will be agencies that don't care. They just want leads. So we got to
That's
bear
fine.
that in mind as
Yeah.
well. I think the bigger guys, once they're like 5 million, 10 million, they will start to care about research. Once they're at least the agency that was doing 20 million, they cared about this, but they were already here. They wanted to
Mm.
get to here.
But
So we have to bear that
mhm.
in mind.
Okay, so you said like almost all of the people will start below average to become average, right? But here's my thesis to what you're doing to them. I agree, but once they're starting to work with you, they're gonna be average, and by the time you're gonna promote the research report, anyways, they're already average, and now they want that new thing. You get what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're helping
Yeah, I
them. We're not gonna say this that you're hey bro, you're below. Of course, this is an internal communication,
mm,
but I
mm,
believe that's why you're driving so much value for these folks, right? Yeah,
mm,
up until the monthly retainer, the 1 year or something, or maybe 9 month ish, you're just converting them to how to convert this agency to becoming a below average to become average. We need to brand that somewhere.
yeah,
Like yeah, of course we're not gonna say this because it's very demeaning, but
yeah,
that's what you're doing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then the only people in your roster of clients in the future that are gonna know the research report are the actual average folks that you know that they're
Mm,
average already, whatever that means, right? To making them exceptional, right? Because you're not gonna
yeah,
convince them anymore to doing more below average to average. They want to be exceptional now. They because they've seen the results probably at this point, right? There's so much data, the leads are flowing, but they need a system now to actually completely do this for next year or whatever, right? That's why you need a research report. So this is like
mm.
for progressive disclosure per se, they're not even gonna know this part for now. The
Well,
research
we
report.
can let them know this if
Okay.
you think it's appealing up front to talk about how we don't just collect leads, we collect data and we work towards this. I'm fine to mention this as the long term because it is
Yeah.
appealing. We
Yeah.
just have to make sure we're not coming across as we will do research for you from your marketing because that's well, I don't need that if I don't have marketing. We need to
Mm.
make sure that it's clear that we will get you leads first
Mm.
and ultimately we will build a research report. So we need, as long as it's clear that we're doing both problems, I think this is
Mm.
still fine as an
I
aspirational.
get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Mm.
So as long as I don't think they have to be average first, because if they think we're just going to do a research report, they're not going to care because it's like, well,
Okay.
why do I want that?
Uh, got it. I get what you're
You
trying to
see?
say.
Honestly?
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the main. Okay. So the dream outcome at the end of the day, right, is you're gonna have predictable leads. But the cool thing of why you should work with me is not you just don't you're not just gonna get that. If you continue to work with me, by the end of all of our conversation, you will end up having a marketing repo. Like it's more of like a side effect, but the side effect is so huge that it's you get what I mean, because everybody's claiming that lead angle, but nobody's claiming that simultaneously you're gonna. It's not. We're not saying that we're gonna push you to buy our 20K. It's more of like it's just naturally gonna like we can communicate it that way because I'm that guy. I know how to do it because I'm a research based agency. I just don't, you know what I mean? So, wow, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
unique. You see what I mean? Like, yeah, the promise still holds true. Consistent pipeline of qualified inquiries or appointments, book call per month, one per month, right? That's the ultimate promise. But at the same time, because I know how to do it, right? And I will do it properly from day one, starting from the 2 week sprint. If you want, you have the option to actually have the data, market research data that you can push. But it's not that the main thing. Yeah, I know that's rough of us saying it, but that's the shizzle. You know, we can still figure that out. And but I think that's
yeah.
appealing. Again, that idea of why should you choose you? This is all I'm
Mm.
trying to solve. Like the research is there.
Yeah,
Why
okay.
they should choose you?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that would be the main reason. And the thing is, they don't need to do a report to get value from this data-led approach
Right.
because we can create a diagnostic, collect data, and use that data for their
That's what I'm
LinkedIn.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like all I'm
Yeah.
saying, like by the way, Jason, I think you're saying like I'm saying like you should use the. All I'm saying is like you have market research base. That's your angle. Like I'm doing it all market research base. Whether that's they're gonna use that front end, like literally the data that they're collecting on front end, or just internal. It doesn't matter for me. It's more of like I'm doing your market research as well. Whether you want to use that front face or internal, the value is the data because you're now basing yourself on the actual data, literally, right? Not on your opinion, what the guru say or what AI said. Um,
Mm.
I'm helping you simultaneously while collecting leads for you, generating results for you. You're also collecting that so that you can have. Why do you want that? It's because you want to have more leads in the first place, right? So,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
maybe that's the angle of it. Like, the only way to figure out like how to generate more leads is to actually create your own data, not just rely on external data, right? Because I think they would, and then that's your moat. AI can't do that. You know, agencies don't know how to do that. Their team doesn't know how to do that. Only Jason, right? Only Insight he can know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyways, bro. I think that wraps up session 3 and the yeah. Thank you for your time. Do you have like yeah, I think I'm just gonna give you like the final doc. It's not complete as you can tell because we skip a bunch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create like the final doc where essentially you can answer those. Again, no pressure, bro. Like, don't
Okay.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I just didn't get time over the weekend, so that's why I haven't done it.
Yeah, no
But
worries. Mhm.
yeah, if you wanna do a final doc, that's fine. I also have a couple of posts that we can
Mhm.
start on just to neaten up a little bit. I
Mhm.
actually have a post on what we've been talking about here,
Wow.
the market research led playbook. So that'll be one that we can potentially get out. It's 80% done. It just needs a bit of tweaking.
Let's go.
So okay. So what's the next steps then? Do you need me to fill those questions out before you can create the final doc, or
Yep. Yeah, that's the final piece and pieces, and then we're complete. We're done with the strategy and all these long talks, right? The next
Mhm.
step after that, like let's assume you figure that out, and I'm gonna share that PDF with you, right? Like it's gonna be long, right? Just compilation of everything we talk about. I'm gonna immediately also do the suggestion, right? The pillars at the same time when I send that document, right? So that we can immediately, like what you said, I'm gonna apply what you said, like immediately, just let's try it. The three posts immediately idea, right? And then I'm gonna probably even, yeah, I think I'm gonna start there because I don't want too much effort if we don't validate first the three pillars. So you know what I mean? That's the first thing. If you agree or disagree, let's say we finalize the pillars, I'm gonna then quickly, right? If you have some ideas already or posts that written, you can share that to me. Or if not, it's cool. I'm gonna create the outline, and then that's gonna be our new conversation. If you want to move forward with like you testing me out for like what you said, let's apply what you're doing. The 2 week. I'm gonna do the 2 week thing, like 6 posts, right? Let's do a post first. for an X amount. I don't know the thing yet, but like that, and then it will determine too, right? Whether or not you like the style of the work that I'm doing, the quality, right? And also if it's actually generating results too for on your end, like the actual analytics, LinkedIn analytics, right? Um, yeah, that, I think that's my plan, or at least that's how I would envision. Um, based on my application of what you said, yeah,
Yeah,
on
cool. Okay.
Friday.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Sounds good. So just thinking through the practicals, I have
Mm-hmm.
about 50 post ideas that
Oh,
I've
okay.
got in the pipeline. So I have a lot of ideas because I'm actively writing content.
Right.
So I have a lot of posts that are almost done and some are just the idea. So there's a whole spectrum. And then there's also the research report that you can read through and be like, oh, that's interesting, create a post on that, create a post on
Mm-hmm.
that. So there's a lot of content that you could start working from. And then obviously, if there's anything that we've discussed that you found interesting that you wanted to write about,
Mm-hmm.
you could do that as well. So those would be the three main sources: stuff that stood out to you, research report, and then the last one would be existing posts in the pipeline, just helping me finish that.
Oh yeah, that would make it more sense and more like the context is rich in a sense for me to work around. Yep,
Mm.
got it.
Existing posts in the pipeline might be the easiest place to start because there's already an outline there. You can just finish them up and get an idea of what I was thinking. You can provide your thoughts on that. It'll just help us work together without a blank page because it can be very hard in the beginning to know how I like writing or how
Mm,
I like structuring things, because at the moment I have a certain structure, which again, I'm flexible to change. I thought it just might get us both up to speed quicker if we just work on
yeah, the 50
post
drafts. Yeah, the
the
50 drafts, and also looking back to what you already written, and then the research report, and the sessions that we had. This right.
mm,
There's so much data now that I need to like synthesize essentially, right? So that we can come up with the six. Like at the end of the day, we're just gonna do the six, right? At the beginning, at least the sprint of what we're calling it, right? The 2 week sprint. And then let's just start with the pillars first. I think once I've done this, the pillar suggestion, because whether you work with me or not, if in all honesty, that will determine your future posts in a sense. So regardless, right? So I'm
cool.
doing it like that's the highest right now. And then once we have that, that's gonna actually also gonna help me filter out those 50 drafts, right? And then how we connect it to the marketing report that you have. You know what I mean? Those pillars are literally the bottleneck right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I would like pillars. That would be helpful.
okay, got it. So, after we end this call, I'm gonna just wrap the questions that I said. Like could be useful for us to finish off
Okay.
the doc. Once you send that over, I'm gonna compile everything. Gonna send you the strategic foundation document. And then I'm gonna propose like yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, by the way, you can also send to the 50 immediately too if you want. If you have some links for me for that, like what you said, like
We It might be helpful to have a meeting to just, well, maybe I can think through it. I think version one can be maybe we just work on 3 posts together. I'll
oh,
choose
okay,
3
I like
and
that.
then,
That's a
or
good plan.
whatever. It could be 6, but I just think 3 is
Yeah, let's
easier for
start
me to
with
just
three.
choose.
Just three.
Yeah, we don't even really need to do strategy or any of that kind of stuff. I can just say, here's the post, here's my ideas. What are
Oh
your
yeah.
ideas? Write them.
Okay,
And then,
so I like that. That's easier. That's easier. Okay, let's just finish this first. I don't know if you like that, and
mm,
then do you want? Are you open for tomorrow? Like maybe less time, like not 2 hours, maybe. Just to have that conversation. Literally, the first three posts that you like. Um,
mm.
is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking or
I have a
no?
meeting tomorrow with Alex James in the morning. So
Wow.
generally, mornings are
Oh, I can
content.
adjust. Mm-hmm.
So on every Tuesday, we have a content writing session together where we just jump together and write, kind of like gym
Oh,
buddies writing.
Nice. That's cool.
Hmm. So, hmm. So there's two options. One is I could give you a few posts. I mean, the other idea is you can have a look through the research report, my posts, and you could propose 3 and then write 3. That's another idea.
Or we can just move the call to Wednesday if Tuesday's super tight. If you have time
Yeah,
for that. Because I get what you're trying to say. That would be so immediate of feedback when we have just at least a call. It's like you already literally gonna communicate, bro. This is what I want to be written at the moment. You know what I mean? Because like even if I do all that data, it's like still me assuming what you would. Because if you already have a fixed thing that you want to write about, you know, I can't defeat that. You can't. I can't defeat that. You would also default back to.
yeah.
But yeah, I
I
like
don't
that.
I don't really know. I don't have like a fixed. So the thing is, I don't have, because I'm not planning to stop writing.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to keep writing.
Right.
Where I see you being helpful is doing 80% of the content,
Mm-hmm.
where you take the maybe the bigger pieces of content, all right? So the news research report, maybe I do some longer form stuff, and then you break that up and you take individual insights. Say there's 3 insights in one of these longer research chapters. That could be 3 separate posts. So
Mm.
it's dissecting the stuff that I'm researching, because I'm going to keep researching, right? So the
Right.
goal is for me to do that and to give you the insights, and then you take one big piece of research and you make 50 posts on it, or
Got it.
3
Yeah.
posts, depending on that. And there might be some other pieces of content here and there that I help with. The bit I'm not sure about is what our pillars need to be, whether we're going to be talking about specific problems or how that lines up. So I guess step 1 is finalizing content pillars, and then step 2 would be either pulling out the, what would you prefer? Would you prefer for me to just say, here's all my current stuff, write 3 posts from this? Because most of the research report has not been published on LinkedIn.
Mm.
So I could just give you everything I've done so far, and you can then write 3 posts. That's one option. Another option is I could say, here's 3 posts that I was thinking to write.
I think
Finished. What do you prefer?
like for because if you really just want to test me without the pillars, the latter, right? Because you
Here's
already
3,
have
right?
the idea already, and I have enough data to know about your business because of what we did in the past 3 days, right? To know your style or something like that, the way you believe and stuff, the way you want to write it, right? And even I can like go back to your previous research, but I still need like I think if it's just a test, right? You still want to test the waters with me. I think that's the easiest one for the both of
Okay.
us, right? Because like yeah, I cannot defeat what you already want. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
hard
Okay.
thought.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's do that. And then if you
Wait.
probably the next step, if you really okay, I like how Francis is doing it, the writing, I like it. He knows how to use my voice, etc. Now we can talk about probably the pillar after that. This is focus on the 3 content ideas that you want probably, and just give me enough context for me to work on that. Like maybe it's just a market research or whatever. And then yeah, we're gonna build. I'm gonna build it immediately. Probably that's the next step, so that we don't have a call anymore. It's more of like you checking the yeah, you send me a brief like this is the 3 ideas or concepts and then the context, right? And then I'm gonna build that immediately for you without any more like thing. So you immediately
Okay.
see the version 1, and then you're gonna give me feedback based on that.
Okay. Let's do that. Because something that I find easy
Mm-hmm.
is to come up with the idea and brain dump a whole bunch of things
Yeah,
down.
you're really good at that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the bit that's difficult is sorting through that and figuring out what order do I put it in, what do
Yeah.
I leave out, what do I leave in, what's missing, do we need an example, all of that. So I can give you 3 brain dumps,
Yeah, please do.
and that'll have all the information, and then you structure it, write it nicely.
I think we
I
can
might
work that way. I mean, I like context. I like brain dumps better than like very brief descriptions. That's hard. That's hard to work with. So I think if that's your future state of your dream, I just want when I'm walking, I'm gonna voice record something, and then I'm just gonna
yeah,
send it to
that would be
Francis,
great.
and then I trust him because I've seen his past work with me. He just knows how. He just gets me. Like literally, I promise him my voice match word sharing, right?
Yeah, that would be my ideal, because
Oh,
often I will be reading something, watching something, thinking about something while walking. I can then record a video and explain it, but it will then take another hour to actually write it up nicely, 2 hours to write it up nicely,
right.
whatever it is.
But
So if I
yeah,
could just send that to you, that makes your life easier for context. And then sometimes you might say, that's not a good idea. We don't need to post that. We don't have to post everything we do. So we might write 10 posts and only post 6. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We obviously need to make sure that it's worth your time. Ideally, we write 10 and we post 10. But if we write 10 and only 9 are good, or not good as in written well, good as in the ideas are worth
the
sharing.
idea,
Yeah, then we can go. Yeah, we don't have to post everything. But I think having content pillars will help me with that. Just some way of
moving
filtering, because I
forward.
noticed some things I want to talk about are not worth talking about. They're too in the weeds. They're not related to the big problems agencies want to solve. Like, how do I stand out? How do I market? How do I grow? I think we need to be speaking about those big picture desires. How do I get predictable clients?
I like that.
Not the details of like, how do I get LinkedIn followers?
Man,
I don't think we care about that.
I'm excited about that because I have an idea too. It's like moving forward with other clients. Here's my proposal. Just give me a brain dump of what you want. Yeah, that I'm gonna apply this. And we're gonna not do anymore like this strategic foundation. This year you're gonna be the last unless they really wanted to, right? Of course, I would take it. But I would just can you please just brain dump whatever you want to post and I'll just create out of that just a 3 thing 1 week and just see if I match really your voice or you like the way I'm writing, and then maybe just approve literally this just a proof of concept, right? And then if they like it next week we can talk about more details of like now like it needs to systematize. I need your pillar
Yeah.
now. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with you. Like let's not
Yeah.
don't even think about the pillar for now. Just write me those 3 brain dumps that you do. Like treat it as if like yeah don't super organize it for me so that I have a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Literally as
perfect.
if
I already
you
have
hire
a
me.
couple.
Yeah, you have literally if you hired me already, how you would share it to me that you're pleasant, like, okay, I like this way of um doing it. Right? Yeah. So let's
Okay.
do that if you want. And then I'm just gonna wrap up the questions after a call, then send that to you. Again, no pressure on that finishing that, okay? Because this
Okay.
this new thing is
How,
different. Yeah.
how many questions do we have left?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to I'm not sure. I need to double check, but I'm gonna
Okay.
try to minimize that as much as possible. Or if there are questions, I'm gonna guarantee like you already know the answer. You just need to find it. You know what I mean? Just copy paste and stuff like that.
Okay. Because I'm okay to miss questions. I think we've done 80%. There's also a lot of stuff that I've posted. So if I'm assuming you're going to be using Claude or something to put this together, you can go through my LinkedIn posts and
figure it out.
Put that into Claude or something like that if they want more context, because in some of them I talk about this is the experiment I did for the research. These are some of the numbers I'm getting. So they have numbers and data in there.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is like instead of you, I'm gonna try to yeah maximize everything that I have up front. And then if there's still anything left, right? That's the only questions that I'm gonna ask. I think that's what you're trying to say, right? Instead of you doing it, let's.
Yeah, and even if there's, I'm happy for you to skip some questions that you would normally ask. I don't value a long
Oh, okay,
document.
got it. Okay,
I
I
want
get.
something that is helpful. Let me show you what I want, just for expectations. This is where I think this document will be used. So if we end up working together,
Mhm.
I have a content process set up where I got some ideas that I'm working on. This is where I'm drafting. So if we work together, I will brain dump in here and I will
Mhm.
sign it to you. You will then
Mhm.
move it to editing. We will
Right.
then have a review afterwards. I give feedback. You can then move it to polishing.
Mhm.
When it's done, we then move it to designing. My wife picks it up and she will
Right.
then design it. And then we move it to ready to post. And then I schedule it or you schedule it, whoever wants to schedule it. Doesn't matter. My
Yeah.
wife can
Yeah.
schedule it.
Mhm.
That's the process. Then I have a reference document that's handy when writing. So perspective
Mhm.
pyramid, what are my beliefs? What's my approaches? What are my tactics? In terms of content, um, yeah, I just have some, we can neaten this up a little bit, but I have a lot of different ideas in different areas. So like when it comes to expertise building, I just write down some ideas that we could talk about as we go when it comes to
Ooh.
differentiation, marketing, copywriting. So it's like ideas are not the problem. It's getting structure and thinking about what's worth talking about. And then in terms of pillars, like we can work on like, or just have a document like these are the pillars. So
Mm.
what I'm getting at is what I would like is a document that's very short and able to be a reference document, like perspective pillars, bam.
Mm.
ICP, bam. Content pillars, bam. Origin story, bam. Now it doesn't have to be separate pages, but you're not going to read 2 pages on an origin story. One
Mhm.
paragraph is fine. Key
Mhm.
numbers, key things. That's right. Case studies. We could have one document, 2 case studies. My case study for Insight Leaf and Alex James's case study. Even dot points. It doesn't have to be a paragraph. It can be like, we did this, here's some of the results, then we did this, then here's the results. So we're doing this next. Like whatever it needs to be. Because I want to reference it. If it's long, we're not going to reference it.
Got it. Okay. Wow, this is a new again insight to not to use that term. So, okay, yeah, thank you for sharing that because before what I'm doing is completely different. Yeah, it's just a mega file. But what you're saying is like you don't actually care about that because I'm not gonna use that anyways. I want some actionable, quick to reference types of documents. So
Yeah.
I can just so what you're saying, do you suggest because I can just do it like again with Claude or something like just multiple files. Like we'll probably only have six in a sense because we have six modules, and then I'm gonna
You
compile
can
that. Sorry, sorry.
do it in one file,
Okay.
but you can do different. Are you going to do it in a Google Doc, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, do it in one file and just create separate sections. So see here, you got your tabs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
You
what
can
you want.
do
You want
yeah,
that?
because then we can put that in ClickUp where we have one document.
Right.
SOPs is maybe not the right name.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have separate tabs here for ICP, pillars, and so on. And then it can just be outlined. For example, this might be like talking points or pillars. Like, all right, here's the main customer problems. Not enough leads. Lead inquiries too low. We don't stand out or we're compared too much, whatever it is. FAQs, what are the big questions people are asking? You know, should I share all my IP in my marketing? Or what does the data say is the best way to acquire clients? These are our specific insights, you know. Don't niche your agency, niche your advertising. Don't advertise your services, advertise the thinking behind them. Post content, boost what resonates. Don't just capture leads, qualify them. Like, what are the main one-liner insights that we have? So like this is it's very messy at the moment. So that's why I'm wanting something that's a bit neater. But like, what are the main client problems? What are the big questions that they're asking? What are our unique insights? Who's our ICP? What are our case studies? Quick reference. So if we ever need to find it, we'll actually reference it.
Got it. Okay. I think I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, I'm gonna organize it that way. Like you said, multiple tabs instead of just one mega file. Um, Yeah. And I'm gonna try to make it really compact instead of really comprehensive. Like I did it before wrong. I now realize.
Mm.
Okay.
Comprehensive is fine as a document to feed into Claude,
Yeah.
but we won't use that.
Right. I'm gonna to create two. Yeah. One for the AI, one for us. Essentially, is what you're saying. I
So
got it.
if that's easier, yeah, whatever works for you. But yeah,
Okay.
ultimately, I would want one that we can use.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then I think for the easy for you to answer, what I'm gonna do when we create the what we're gonna use, right? I'm just gonna embed like a placeholder there to say like, oh, for example, the case study we didn't went that way, right? You just need to put that there. Essentially, that's all I'm saying. It's already organized. You know what I mean? You just need to work it there instead of me asking you to another question. So all I'm saying is after this call, I'm gonna compile everything already and do yeah, some background check on your LinkedIn to add more data for what I'm gonna be compiling. I'm gonna send the final version immediately, like what you said, the front facing that you're saying, the multiple tabs, and then I'm just gonna write multiple if it's really important. I think it's only few at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it would be nice if it could be under 5 questions.
Okay.
It would be helpful if you sent the questions as well, so I didn't have to look through the
Oh,
document.
sorry.
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
happy to answer that. I have written posts on Alex James's case study and my case study, so I can just send those through. So that'll be quick.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Quick questions and then just placeholder. Probably I'm just gonna change that anyways on my end. But at least what I'm saying is like, yeah, the SFD is done. After I compile everything, there's just only few tweaks that we need to add, like we said, five or less questions in order for us to actually close this chapter of our, the project essentially.
Mhm.
And then we can move to the three posts, like what you said, just sharing the brain dump thing. After that.
I already have 3 posts ready for you.
Oh fudge, yeah. So what are your
Yeah, I got 50, right? So three is not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah. So what's your like projection here? Because I think yeah, this is all done. Like probably the SFD is done today. So what's your for the three posts? What's your budget for that for now? Like what's your like? Okay, I'm just gonna
Mm.
run it immediately with you if this is your plan. Because this is a test.
Yes.
I don't see it as like making money as for now. For me, it's more of like I just need to prove it to you. So
Yeah. Okay. So what I was thinking, in terms of the monthly amount as well, what's your thoughts on? I think you said currently you're charging 400 to this guy per month for 5 posts a week.
yep.
You want to be at 800 a month for 3 posts a week. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my initial offer to
800 a
him.
month.
Yeah. That didn't work out. Yeah, the way I planned.
Okay. So maybe we could do something where we work towards it. I'm happy to work towards paying you 800 a month, but maybe we could start on 600 a month. And then after this test, we can map out a timeline. So maybe it's 600. Once we've done this number of posts, then it's 700. Once we've done this number of posts, then it's 800.
I get it.
Like whatever that timeline looks like. So the better you get, I'm happy to pay more. But in the
Mm.
beginning, it's going to be more of my time. Yeah, just an idea. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that totally makes sense, and I can sleep at night with that offer because I know it's fair. You know what I mean? It's not like both ways are happy with it. You know what I mean? But okay, that's for the monthly. So you're saying it's like for month one, if for example, I'm not yeah, you're happy, yeah. For that's like 600 for the 12 posts, right? At
Yeah,
the beginning.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then my question would then be if that's the case, maybe I need my math here. So what
Well,
would
I
that
think
be
that's
then?
about 60. Yeah, because if it's 600 a month and there's 12 posts, I mean, technically there's a little bit more than 4 weeks in a month. So it'll be like $46, $50 a post, something like that.
Got
And
it.
so for 3 posts, we could do 150 if that works for you.
I mean, yeah. I think yeah, for the testing round, yeah, it's worth testing it out for the 150. So it's like matching what we did here, like 150. Okay, got it. So yeah, I think we can deliver. Like what day is it? I think it's yeah, Monday. Sorry. Yeah, I think I can deliver that within this week. The three posts. Especially you're gonna do that. Okay, so summary. I'm gonna. I think I need to work. Yeah, after this. Just like the SFP. compiling this everything, sending that 5 questions or less to you, and then already the done. By the way, the done SFD what we I've collected already. Just adding those. It doesn't change anything. And then we can close that. And are you open? I'm gonna also put in this day the invoice for that
Yeah, yeah, of
three.
course. Yeah, yeah.
So do you still like the 50-50 thing?
Sure, yeah. So you can send final 50 for the previous one and then the 50 for the 3 posts. That's fine.
Yep, got it. Yep, I'm gonna be working on those after just within this day. So that I can start already, and then you can send me the
Yeah,
three
I'll
also.
aim to send those posts to you today.
Oh fudge, that's quick. Yeah, tomorrow I need to work.
That's cool.
Yep. All
Okay,
right. Woo.
sweet.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
I'm
Thanks,
excited.
Francis.
Thank you, Jason. Have
Yeah, yeah,
a
me
great
too.
day. All right.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.